Lipscomb Bison's baseball is on the air. Good afternoon. This is Doc Allen coming to you live from beautiful Ken Dugan Field at Stephen Lee Marsh Stadium on the campus of Lipscomb University in Nashville, Tennessee, as we get set to bring you college baseball action between Northern Illinois University and the homestanding Lipscomb Bisons. Today, the first game of a three-game weekend series these two teams will play. Single game today, one on Saturday and one on Sunday. The visiting Huskies from Northern Illinois University, part of the Mid-American Conference, and they enter today's contest with a season record of no wins and 8 losses, no record in conference play yet on the season. The Bisons are from the Atlantic Sun Conference, and they come in with a season record of 4 wins and 4 losses. No record in ASUN conference play to date this season. Last time out on Wednesday, the Bisons dropped a 5-1 decision to the Belmont University Bruins here at Ken Dugan Field. First installment of the Battle of the Boulevard between those two teams on this season. Let's take a look at today's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Huskies from Northern Illinois University. Leading off, center fielder, number 2, Matt Barnes. Batting second, shortstop, number 1, Andre Demetral. Batting third, right fielder, number 5, Eric Irado. Batting fourth, third baseman, number 22, Aaron Harper. Batting fifth, first baseman, number 25, Mason Kelly. Batting sixth, designated hitter, number 15, Caden Kosabucky. Batting seventh, left fielder, number 31, Malik Peters. Batting eighth, catcher, number 12, Scott Combs. And batting ninth, second baseman, number 8, Jack Blazevich. Starting pitcher today on the mound for the Huskies will be the junior left-hander, Reagan Clawwitter. Clawwitter, an 0-2 record with a 13.50 ERA on the young season. Head coach for the Huskies is Mike Kunagonis, who's in his 8th season. He's assisted by Luke Stewart, Josh Pethoud, and volunteer assistant Eddie Acosta. And now the starting lineup for the homestanding Lipscomb Bisons. Leading off, right field today, number 21, John Shields. Batting second, doing the catching, number 1, Chaz Bertolani. Batting third, third baseman, number 30, Trace Wilhoit. Batting fourth, first baseman, number 44, Malik Williams. Batting fifth, left fielder, number 13, Rudy Maxwell. Batting sixth, designated hitter, number 4, Cam McMillan. Batting seventh, second baseman, number 23, Ethan Stamps. Batting eighth in center field today, number 7, Tiger Borum. And batting eighth, shortstop, number 9, Caleb Ketchup. Getting the start on the mound for the Bisons will be the sophomore right-hander, Caleb Cantola. He's getting his 3rd start on the season. He comes in with a record of 1 win, no losses, and an ERA of 1.00. Head coach for the Bisons is Jeff Forehand. He's in his 16th season as head coach. He's assisted by pitching coach Matt Myers, hitting coach Ryan Price, director of baseball operations Brian Ryman, volunteer assistant Will Hawks, director of player development Adam Weiss, director of baseball analytics Ryan Moretti, and the assistant director of baseball operations Madeline Hoswell. Bison's head groundskeeper is Colby Rawls, and the head baseball athletic trainer is Clint Woods. Our umpires today, Chris Dykman will be behind the plate, Creel Waddell will be at first base, and Clay Williams will be at third base. And our weather right now is a beautiful day at Ken Dugan Field. It's 78 degrees. The winds are out of the east-southeast at 7 miles per hour, and looks like it could be even less than that right now as the flag is pretty stationary out there. But if we do get some of that wind today, it will tend to be blowing out towards left and left center field. So gorgeous day at Ken Dugan Field, mostly overcast. Do see some blue sky picking out, but the sun is mostly behind the clouds right now. And I'm sure that we'll get the lights on here at some point as we progress through the afternoon into the evening. If you're in the area, please come on out to the ballpark. We've got seats available. Crowds gathering here for the first game of this 3-game series between these two teams, the Northern Illinois Huskies and the Lipscomb Bisons. And we'd love to see you at the ballpark, if not today, then through the next 2 games. We have a 2 p.m. Central Time start on Saturday and a 1 p.m. Central Time start on Sunday. And we'd love to host you at the ballpark. Bisons are taking the field, and as they do so, we're going to step aside for just a moment, and we'll be bringing you our nation's national anthem. Our national anthem is in the books, and we're going to get set to play college baseball here in just a moment. Before we do, earlier today we had a chance to visit. Erica Plunkett visited with Lipscomb head coach Jeff Forehand to get some of his thoughts on today's game.
All right, Coach Forehand, the Huskies come in here winless on the season, but they've gone up against two very tough opponents. You know that they're going to be hungry for it today. How do you become more hungry against the Huskies?
You know, we talked about that after before the Belmont game. You know, we played a really good game against MTSU, on Tuesday. And I felt like we played subpar against Belmont. Not taking anything away from them. I thought Belmont played really well, but you get a team here that's kind of got their back against the wall. They're going to come out and be ready to play. And I think, I don't know that. We didn't even talk to our team about that. It's just the next team that's in front of us that we've got to concentrate on what we do and try to execute what we do and do that well. So I'm looking forward to seeing if we can bounce back from not doing that on Wednesday.
Against Belmont, you had 9 runners left on base. How do you capitalize on those scoring positions?
I think we didn't really play to the scheme like we wanted to, and we got thrown out a couple times. The catcher had a really good game, a couple balls in the dirt. We tried to advance on, he threw us out. Tried to steal the bag, he threw us out when we're down. Just things that didn't go in our favor, but we didn't do anything to help ourselves either. So I'm looking forward to those getting corrected, because if we can play and play clean like we played against MTSU, we're going to be okay no matter who we play.
Thank you. Best of luck today.
That's Erica Plunkett with Bison's head coach Jeff Forehand previewing today's game as we get set to watch the sophomore right-hander Caleb Cantola on the mound for the Bisons today. 6'6" tall, 210-pound youngster out of Monmouth, Oregon, previously at Chiquita Community College. As we mentioned, he's had a fine start to this season. He's started 2 games already for the Bisons. He's picked up 1 win. He's worked a total of 9 innings, giving up 8 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, walked 3, and struck out 15. Opposing batters batting just .222 against Cantola, who has been very, very effective here in the early going of the 2022 campaign. So he gets to start on the mound today for the Bisons, and the Northern Illinois Huskies will only have 1 left-handed hitter in that lineup facing Caleb Cantola, and we'll tell you about that as we get started. But the first batter that they'll bring to the plate will be their leadoff hitter, Matt Barnes. He's a senior center fielder, and he's off to a hot start on the season. He's batting .367 on the season. He's got 11 hits and 30 trips. He's got no homers and 1 RBI. He's got 1 triple, and he leads the team with 3 stolen bases out of 4 attempts. So Matt Barnes gets sets to work against Caleb Cantola as we get underway in baseball action here in Nashville. Starts him off and hits it on the fist towards third base, but he fouled it off his foot, so that'll be a foul ball. And it'll be 0-1 on Barnes. We'll set the defense for you. Defensively for the Bisons, Rudy Maxwell in left field, Tiger Boerum in center, John Shields in right, Trace Will Hoyt at third, Caleb Ketchup at short, Ethan Stamps at second, Malik Williams at first, and Chaz Bertolani behind the dish as he's on the receiving end of the pitches from Caleb Cantola, who gets set to bring the 0-1 to Matt Barnes. Swung on and hit foul off the right-hand side. Williams is going to give chase, still giving chase, but that one's going to hit into the bullpen. And Cantola will quickly be ahead of Barnes, 0-2. So Cantola, a power right-handed pitcher. We mentioned 6'6" tall youngster. Likes to live off the fastball, has a good slider and a change as well. So he's been very effective and has located well, as we talked about. 3 walks against 15 strikeouts so far through 9 innings pitched on the season. He was the Bison starter on opening day against Akron. And again, started the series last weekend, picking up a win against Bradley. Here comes the 0-2 to Barnes. There's a slider to get him on strike 3. So 1 up, 1 down as Cantola requires Barnes on strikes. And that'll bring up Andre Demetral. Demetral, the sophomore, playing at shortstop today. Only had 9 at-bats on the season. He's got 1 hit in those 9 trips. So he's played in 3 games and started 3 games, and he'll stand in there and bat against Caleb Cantola. First pitch is a slider that gets in there for a strike, 0-1. Bison's fairly straight away here. As we mentioned, wind really not much of a factor at this point, and so beautiful afternoon. Clearly the best weather we've had for any of our games so far. I think it's the first time we've played a game outside about the 40s in temperature. That's hit foul down the third baseline, and quickly again, Cantola's ahead, 0-2. Last 2 weekend series have featured some chilly weather. In fact, I think the Friday game a week ago, the game time temperature was in the 30s, so wonderful to see temperatures in the upper 70s, and I think we're expecting more of the same tomorrow. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Cantola. Swung on and hit off the end of the bat towards second. The Stamps is going to glove it and throw to first. And Demetrol will be retired for the second out of the inning. So 2 up, 2 down. That brings up the right fielder, Eric Arado. Arado is hitting .321 on this season. He's got 9 hits in 28 at-bats. No homers and 3 RBIs on the season. So he'll bat with 2 outs and the bases empty. Arado is the only left-handed batter that's in the starting lineup today for Coach Kunagonis and the Northern Illinois Huskies. Candola starts him off with an inside pitch that he bunts foul for strike 1. Arado taking advantage of the fact that third baseman Trace Wilhoit was playing in fairly normal depth. He's clearly 4 or 5 steps behind the bag, and looks like they're going to remain in that defensive alignment, thinking that Arado, with that good batting average and off to a good start, is unlikely to put another bunt down, but we'll see how they elect to play it here. 2 outs, nobody on, top of the first inning, just underway between Northern Illinois and Lipscomb. He's not squaring, and that's a breaking ball that'll miss downstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, Cantola, we mentioned, is out of Oregon. He went to Central High School there. Was the Oregon 5A State Pitcher of the Year back in 2019. Had a 25-4 record in high school, and then we mentioned this is his first season here at Lipscomb. Here comes the 1-1. That one bounces up there, stopped by Bertolani, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike to Arado. So again, Cantola's first year in Division I baseball is off to a terrific start, as he has done what you want out of your Friday night starter, and that's go out and compete and give innings, limit the walks, and pitch very effectively for his team. Here comes the 2-1. That one's going to bounce up there again, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Third baseman Aaron Harper waits on deck if Arado can extend the inning here. Arado, a sophomore out of Sussex, Wisconsin. 6 foot tall, 185 pounder. And the 3-1 from Cantola. That was going to stay outside, ball 4. So after showing excellent control in the first 2 hitters, Cantola sends Arado down to first base with a walk, and that'll bring up the third baseman Aaron Harper. Harper batting .200 on the season. He's got 5 hits and 25 at-bats. He does have 1 home run and 5 RBIs. That's the only home run as a team that the Huskies have hit this year. They're batting just .235 as a team with that 1 home run and 28 RBIs. They are, however, 13 for 18 on stolen bases for the season, so the Huskies like to get out there and try to run some, and we'll keep an eye on that. Arado is 2 for 2 on the season in stolen bases. And he's got a healthy lead at first base as Cantola gets set to work to Aaron Harper. He's not running, and the breaking ball is going to stay high, and it'll be 1 ball and no strikes on Aaron Harper. Harper's out of Hemet, California. I believe that is Mount St. Jacinto Junior College. Runners going. Here's the 1-0, swung on and hit into left field. That's going to be a base hit. Rounding second is Arado, and he's going to make it to third easily. He will get held there as the throw will come into second. It's cut off by Stamps. 2-out base hit from Aaron Harper, and the Huskies have something going with 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Nice piece of hitting there by Harper. Like a hanging breaking ball. He jumped on it, hit it out into left field. Again, Arado was running on the play, so he easily made third base as he was never hesitating coming around. And runners first and third now for the first baseman, Mason Kelly, batting .217 on the season, 5 hits and 23 trips, no homers, 2 RBIs. But he's got a chance to do some early damage here for the Huskies. 2 outs, runners first and third. And Cantola will try to limit the damage here. Harper's 2 for 3 on steals for the season. He has a much smaller lead than Arado did, but he's running, and they're going to fake a throw to second. They've got him hung up, and now they're going to let him take second. So he broke for second, ran about 2/3 of the way down, stopped. Bertolani faked a throw, looked back down to third, but Arado was not really biting on that, so I believe that they'll credit him with a stolen base there, and Harper's going to be at second, Arado at third, and the count's a ball and no strikes to Mason Kelly. So Bison's electing not to throw through there to try to get the runner out. I think that he would have put himself into a rundown situation, but now runner second and third, 1-0 count, 2 outs, and Cantola gets set to deliver. Throws a pitch just off the plate. Good spot for that fastball, but he didn't get the call from Home plate umpire Chris Dykman, so it'll be 2 balls and no strikes on Kelly. Kasabuki waits on deck if Kelly can extend the inning here. And Cantola's 2-0 offering is swung on and hit foul down the right field line. That was a fastball that jammed him. He swung at it and fouled it off into foul territory. So that'll make the count 2 balls and 1 strikes with 2 outs. Arado, your runner at third. Harper running at second. Cantola got 2 quick outs here. Swinging strikeout of the leadoff man. Got ground out to second base, and then he issued a 2-out walk to Arado. Harper followed with a single, and that advanced Arado to third. And Harper just took second base without a throw. So second and third, 2 outs, and the 2-1. Inside almost hit him with that fastball, and it's 3-1. So Cantola in danger of loading them up here with first base open. And again, we mentioned on the season, Cantola's been excellent at not giving away those free passes. He only has 3 walks in the 9 innings that he's worked so far. And here comes the 3-1, and that's going to be hit on the ground towards Ketchup at shortstop. Catches him in between hops. He throws on to first. Low throw, and Williams pulls it up. So Cantola able to escape out of the jam as he'll strand 2 base runners in the inning. There were no runs on 1 hit, and they did strand those 2. And we head to the bottom half of the first inning. No score between Northern Illinois and Lipscomb. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the bottom half of the first inning. The Bisons will send up Shields, Bertolani, and Trace Wilhoit to face the junior left-hander Reagan Clawwitter. No wins, 2-loss record on the season. He started 2 games, lost both of them. He's pitched 8 innings, given up 17 hits, 13 runs, 12 of which are earned, 5 walks, 9 strikeouts. Hitters have hit .405 against him. He has a 13.50 ERA. Clawwitter, a 6'1", 185-pound lefty out of Verona, Wisconsin. And he'll be facing John Shields to lead things off here for the Bison. Shields in right field today, and he comes in batting .273 on the season, 1 home run and 2 RBIs, and that's going to hit him. Hit him in the head, but it was a off-speed pitch, and so Shields will be aboard, hit by pitch, and that'll bring up the catcher, Chaz Bertolani. And for those of you tuning in, I'm sure some of you may have watched our game on Wednesday, and they saw the Bison's outstanding senior center fielder, Maddox Houghton, take a pitch to the face. Prior to the game, we got an update that Maddox is improving. He actually took some batting practice today, and so hope to see him back in the lineup. He's not in the lineup today, but a scary moment for Maddox Houghton, but he seems to be coming along well. So I want to pass that along to all of you, and thank you for your continued prayers and support. Chaz Bertolani will stand in. Bertolani off to a red-hot start on the season, .385, no homers, 3 RBIs, and he looks at a strike through there, 0-1. Shields 2 for 2 in steals on the season, and the Bisons as a team like to run. They are 17 for 19 on the season in stolen bases, and so Bisons have stolen early and often, and Shields has a very healthy lead against the left-hander Clawwitter, and he is running, and it's an off-speed pitch in the dirt, and he'll steal it easily. So the count will be a ball and a strike, and Shields will get the stolen base, heading down to second, where he'll stand with nobody out. Bertolani doing the catching today, as he typically does on Fridays and Sundays of these weekend series. And I have a special trivia note. His grandparents are both here today. Mike and Joanne Bertolani, both are graduates of Northern Illinois University, where apparently they met and claim alumni status. But I have a feeling that they're cheering for their grandson Chaz today, and he's ahead 2 balls and 1 strike in the count as that one bounced up there. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Shields running at second with nobody out, and Will Hoyt on deck. We're in the bottom half of the first inning, and we have no score between Northern Illinois and Lipscomb. The 2-1 will be swung on and hit on the ground to the right side. It's going to be gloved by Blazevich, and he'll flip to first base, but Bertolani does his job. Goes in the box score as a ground out, but he did exactly what you want to do in that situation by getting that runner advanced over to third base with 1 out. So good piece of hitting there from Bertolani. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Trace Wilhoit. Wilhoit struggling at the start of the season, 4 hits and 21 at-bats. He has 1 home run and 2 RBIs, and he'll have a chance now for another RBI as Shields stands just 90 feet away at third base. Like an off-speed pitch there that Bertolani was able to hit. There comes another curveball, and it stays high. So heavy dose of breaking balls so far from Reagan Clawwitter. Prior to coming to Northern Illinois, he was at North Central Community College where he had an outstanding career. We'll tell you about that in just a moment. Fastball hit in the air towards left center field. Going back is Peter, still going back, and it's going to be off the wall for extra bases. Shields is going to jog home, and pulling into second with a double will be Trace Wilhoit. First run of the day, the Bisons jump out to a 1-0 lead, and Wilhoit hit that ball well. It almost got out of here. It hit close to the 375-foot sign in left center field where it went off the wall. And so Wilhoit will now stand at second base, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Malik Williams. Williams, another Bison, off to an excellent start to the season. 304 batting average, 3 homers, 11 RBIs. That leads the team in both home runs and RBIs. And he's got a chance now to pick up another one with a running in scoring position and 1 out. Outfield is very deep for Williams. They respect the power that he has. He looks at an off-speed pitch that'll stay inside, ball 1. So we mentioned Clawwitter at Madison College, and he was the nation's leader in ERA in Junior College Athletic Association in 2021. He had a 7-win, 2-loss record in 12 appearances and an ERA of 1.76. That one will miss downstairs 2-0. So an outstanding 2021 campaign. He had 65 strikeouts and 61 innings. He led his team to the North Central Community College and Region 4 titles. And he was first team all-region and second team all-conference. So outstanding career last year. He's playing his first season here for the Huskies. And he's behind Malik Williams 2-0 with 1 out. That's a breaking ball that's going to go inside. And 3-0 Malik Williams with Rudy Maxwell waiting on deck. Malik has become, as we've mentioned on some of our other broadcasts, a much more disciplined hitter. You don't see him expanding the strike zone as much, but we'll see if he's given the green light here on a 3-0 pitch. Healthy lead for Wilhoit at second. Here's the 3-0. It's a fastball, and it'll miss downstairs, ball 4. So that's the first walk of the inning. We also have a hit by pitch and a base hit that's been surrendered. So 2 on and 1 out for Rudy Maxwell, the left fielder for the Bisons today. Rudy comes in batting .250. He's got 6 hits in 24 trips to the plate, 1 home run and 3 RBIs. And it's been swinging it well throughout the course of the season. Rudy, a graduate transfer from Duke University. He's from here in Nashville. Played his high school ball at Innsworth High School and played at Duke and graduated from there in December, and now is here as a grad transfer. And a breaking ball is again going to miss downstairs. So Clawwitter really struggling with the zone here in the bottom of the first inning. The breaking ball seems to be eluding him with his command, and so he's fallen behind. And again, after hitting the first batter, he's been behind each of the other hitters for the Bisons. And here comes the 1-0. That's a fastball hit into left field, base hit. They're going to wave Wilhoit through. Throw's going to come in, and it's going to be cut off, and Wilhoit's going to score, and the Bisons are up 2-0. So RBI base hit by Rudy Maxwell will be the second hit of the inning and the second run of the inning for the Bisons, and that'll bring up designated hitter Cam McMillan. McMillan only has 6 at-bats on the season, still looking for his first hit, at a Bisons uniform. He's a junior transfer, has previously been at Vanderbilt, Houston, playing his first season here at Dugan Field, and so he'll bat now with 1 out and runners at first and second. Williams running at second, Maxwell running at first, and Clawwitter struggling with the zone here. That's going to get the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. the 0-1. Breaking ball is going to stay high. And leaving the count at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, still just 1 out. We're the bottom half of the first inning. The Bisons are leading 2-0 over Northern Illinois. And here comes the 1-1. Fastball hit to the left side. First baseman Kelly's going to glove it, and he's going to throw to third and not be in time. So McMillan will be retired for the second out of the inning with a 3 unassisted ground out. That'll allow Maxwell to advance to second and Williams to advance to third. But 2 outs in the inning, and that'll bring up second baseman Ethan Stamps. Stamps batting .250 on the season. He's got 8 at-bats. He has 2 hits, no homers and no RBIs, but a chance to pick up a pair here. Second and third, 2 outs. And Clawwitter would love to limit the damage here after he's fallen behind. He got ahead of McMillan, and pitching coaches will always tell you, getting ahead in that at-bat changes the whole complexion of the at-bat. If you can get that first pitch strike in there, then the advantage tilts to the guy on the mound. And the opposite also true. When the first pitch is a ball, the hitters gain a little more of an advantage. So that's a strike through there, and nothing in 1 to Stamps, and so Clawwitter settling in now to a little more of a rhythm. Again, we're in the bottom of the first inning. Lipscomb leading Northern Illinois 2-0. First game of a 3-game series between these two teams. That's a breaking ball that's going to miss inside, and it'll be a ball and a strike on Stamps. Shields led off the inning, was hit by a pitch. Bertolani grounded out to advance him to third after he stole second. Trace Wilhoit doubled in for the first run of the day. Malik Williams walked. Rudy Maxwell had a base hit to drive in a run. And Cam McMillan just grounded out unassisted to advance runners to second and third. So second and third, 2 outs, 1 ball, 1 strike count on Ethan Stamps. And he hits this one foul down the third base line. And Coach Forehand, well, we're going to say he blocked it. He didn't quite make the play cleanly, but he did block it. So I don't think we can give him an error on that one, but we're also not going to send it in for a Sports Center play. So that'll take the count to a ball and 2 strikes on Ethan Stamp. And Clawwitter 1 pitch away from limiting the damage here as the Bisons have had him on the ropes in this first inning. Here comes the 2-2 to Stamps. Swung on and hit towards short. Demetral is up with it. He's going to throw on to first. And indeed, Clawwitter will get out of the inning with that ground out, stranding a pair. So the Bisons strand 2. They do pick up 2 runs on 2 hits. And after 1 full inning, your score, Lipscomb 1, Northern Illinois 0. Or correction, Lipscomb 2, Northern Illinois 0. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the top half of the second inning. Caleb Cantola back out on the mound for the Bisons, and he'll be facing 6, 7, and 8 for the Huskies, Kosabucky, Peters, and Combs. As the Bisons have jumped out to a 2-0 lead here after 1 inning. Kosabucky, freshman, DH today, off to a great start. 400 on the season, 6 hits and 15 trips, no homers, and 3 RBIs. And he'll face Cantola to start the second inning. Fastball stays downstairs and it'll be 1 ball and no strikes. Kosabucky also is a catcher. He's out of West DePierre, Wisconsin. 5'8" and 180 pounds. Comes the 1-0. Breaking ball is going to stay high, and it'll be 2 balls and no strikes. So we mentioned the Huskies off to a tough start this season. They're 0-8, but they've only played 2 teams. They've had 2 4-game series, both on the road. First, the 2-0 pitch. That's also going to stay down. It's 3-0 on Kosabucky. So the Huskies started their season at Sacramento State, And they lost 4 games out there, but a couple of those were close ball games. They lost 2-0 on Saturday the 19th, and then 10-9 on Sunday the 20th. And that's going to stay high as well. So 4-pitch walk to Kosabucky, and he's aboard with 1 out. That'll bring up left fielder Malik Peters, the junior, playing left field today, as we mentioned. He's 5 hits and 26 at-bats on the season. No home runs, 4 RBIs. And Kosabucky 1 for 1 on stolen bases on the season. He's aboard at first with nobody out. Second walk of the day surrendered by Cantola as he walked 1 in the first. So a little unusual for Cantola, who's, as we mentioned, had excellent control early on in the year. Throws over to first, and Kosabucky is back diving. So four games to start the season in Sacramento, California for the Huskies. And last weekend they were in Murray, Kentucky. They played single game Saturday, a pair on Sunday, and one on Monday. Came up short on those games, but again, the Monday game was a 1-run game, 7-6. And they did score 5 runs in another game. So pitching has really been their Achilles heel. There's a slider across the outside corner. That'll be strike 1. We mentioned as a team they're batting .235, but the team ERA 10.16, and they've given up 50 walks and 45 strikeouts and a total of 68 hits in 58 innings. Healthy lead at first base for Kosabucky as we await the 0-1 long hold. He is running. It's bunted out in front of the mound. It's going to be fielded there by Cantola. He'll throw to first. Advancing all the way to third is Kosabucky, and he's going to be out. So Kosabucky never hesitated, going around second base, goes all the way to third, and is cut down as the ball was fielded by Cantola. He threw to Malik Williams, and Malik fired a shot to third baseman Trace Wilhoit and guns down Kosabucky. So a 2-for-1 double play there, kind of a unusual one. That play will go 1 to 3 to 5. And there'll be 2 outs on the inning as Kosabucky is cut down. The base is empty, and that'll bring up Scott Combs. He's doing the catching today. He's just got 8 at-bats on the season, 1 hit, no homers, and 1 RBIs. Combs is out of Northville, Michigan. Previously played at Michigan State. A big youngster, 6'5", 215-pounder. He's a junior. And that's going to be a slider that stays high. It'll be 1 ball and no strikes against Scott Combs. So as we mentioned, 8 games to start the season on the road for the Huskies. They're at Lipscomb this weekend for 3 more, and then they go to Athens, Ohio, and play Ohio next weekend against the Bobcats. That's going to miss low as well, 2-0. They'll follow that up with a weekend series at Akron, the team that the Bisons played in the opening series of the year. The Huskies will play 4 games against the Zips. That's a breaking ball that's also going to stay inside, and the count's gone to 3 balls and no strikes. So Cantola has a little trouble finding the zone this inning as he walked the leadoff man, and now is behind 3-0 on Combs, and Blazevich waits on deck. That's a fastball through there for strike 1. So 3-1. After that Akron series, the Huskies play Purdue. So 20 straight road games to start the season for the Huskies. There's ball 4, second walk of the inning, 3rd overall for Cantola. Very unusual for Cantola. We mentioned he only had 3 walks in 9 innings pitched coming into today's action. So struggling to find his own a little bit, and that'll bring up second baseman Jack Blazevich. 3 hits and 18 trips on the season, no homers and 2 RBIs for the sophomore Blazevich. And the top of the order, Matt Barnes, waits on deck. We're playing in the top of the 2nd inning. Lipscomb is leading Northern Illinois 2-0, and there are 2 outs and a runner on first. Combs with no steals on the season. He's got an average lead, and that one's hit far and deep left field, but that's going to be foul. And Blazevich turned on that fastball in a hurry, and he hit it a long way, but it's a foul ball over the bullpen of the Bisons, and it'll be 0-1. Blazevich out of Woodridge, Illinois, sophomore at 6 foot tall and 180 pounds, playing at second base today. And we await the 0-1 from Cantola, long hold. That's going to be outside, snap throw to first. Malik Williams picks it up out of the dirt, but sliding back in easily is Scott Combs, and the count will be a ball and a strike to Blazevich. So we mentioned all those road series for the Huskies. They don't play their first home game until Friday, March 25th, when they host Kent State for a 5-game series, single games Friday and, they have single game Friday, doubleheader Saturday, in a single game on Sunday, so a 4-game series. That one's down in the dirt. And the count will be 2 balls and 1 strike on Blazevich. Cantola's going to take a walk behind the mound, try to reset himself. As again, he's been working behind. He's got 2 walks in the inning today and trying to get himself back in the strike zone. Started the game really filling it up from the strike zone and has struggled a little bit more this inning. Here comes the 2-1. Swings through the fastball. And actually the count was 1-2 because that's a swinging strike 3. So big strike out there for Cantola. The Huskies will strand another runner. They've already stranded 3 through the first 2 innings. We head to the bottom half of the second inning. Your score, Lipscomb 2 and Northern Illinois 0. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the home half of the second inning. It'll be Borum, Ketchup, in the top of the order Shields to face the left-hander Reagan Clawwitter. Lipscomb leading Northern Illinois 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the second. And Borum gets to start in center field today. We mentioned earlier the injury to senior center fielder Maddox Houghton as he was hit in the face by a pitch in Wednesday's game against Belmont. So Borum in center field today, comes in batting .250 on the season, 2 hits and 8 trips, no homers, 2 RBIs. One of 2 left-handed bats in the lineup for the Bisons today against a lefty Clawwitter. That's bunted, and it's going to be picked up by the catcher and thrown to first, and they got him. Nice play, Combs. Looked like Clawwitter was going to try to field that, but Combs bounced out, fielded it, and made a very strong throw to first base as Borum runs well, and so he'll be retired on the 2-3 ground out for the first out of the inning. Nice play there by the catcher, Scott Combs. That'll bring up shortstop Caleb Ketchup. Ketchup's started and played in all 6 of the Bison's games so far. He's 3 hits and 16 trips, no homers and 1 RBI. Top of the order, John Shields waits on deck, and he looks at a pitch off the plate for ball 1. Is going to stay high, and it'll be 2 balls and no strikes. We mentioned that the Huskies are a member of the Mid-American Conference. The other schools in that conference include Akron, University of Akron, who was the season opening opponent for the Bisons in a 3-game series. Pops this bunt foul, and that's going to get into the railing of the Bison's dugout, and so that'll make the count 2-1 on Caleb Ketchup. Also in the Mid-American Conference, Bowling Green State University, University of Buffalo, Kent State University, Miami University of Ohio, and Ohio University. On the west side of the conference, Ball State University, Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan, Northern Illinois, University of Toledo, and Western Michigan. So 12 teams in that Mid-American Conference, and that's a breaking ball that's going to stay high, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike on Ketchup. Leadoff man Shields on deck. Second opponent of the MAC that the Bisons have played already this season. He swings at the 3-1, hits it high in the air towards shallow left field. Coming in as Peters, the left fielder. He's camped out under it, and he'll retire Ketchup for the second out of the inning. So back to the top of the order, and John Shields, he led things off, was hit by the first pitch he saw, took first base, ended up stealing second, and he scored on the RBI double by Trace Wilhoit. So 0 for 1 on the day is Shields, batting .273 on the season. In fact, with 2 outs and bases empty here in the bottom of the second. Pretty pretty standard defensive alignment for the Huskies against Shields, and he looks at a breaking ball that'll stay downstairs. So thus far, Clawwitter started most of these Bison's hitters off with that breaking pitch, but he's had trouble landing it and has gotten himself behind in a number of these counts. And here comes the 1-0 to Shields. Fastball hit on the ground towards second baseman Blazevich. He's up with it, throws to first. And that's going to be a 1-2-3 inning. So a really nice bounce back inning for Reagan Clawwitter. After struggling in the first inning, he retires the Bisons in order. Nothing doing in the bottom of the second. After 2 complete innings, your score, Lipscomb 2 and Northern Illinois 0. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. Top of the third inning, we've got 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors for the Lipscomb Bisons. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Northern Illinois Huskies. And Caleb Cantola is back on the mound to go to work for the Bisons. He'll face the top of the order, Barnes, Dimitrol, and Errato to get this third inning started. Barnes was a strikeout victim his first time up today, and so he bats for the second time to lead off the third inning. Fastball is going to stay inside and high, and that'll be ball 1. Barnes is a senior, 5'11", 190 pounds, out of Bloomington, Illinois. Previously played at Heartland Community College. And he looks at a breaking pitch that'll again stay high, 2 balls, no strikes. So the Bisons coming off a split of their midweek games this week. On Tuesday, they went over to Murfreesboro and defeated MTSU 3-0. And as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Wednesday came back here, hosted Belmont, and lost a 5-1 affair. That one misses way outside. Cantola is again behind 3-0. And Coach Jeff Forehand's going to walk out to the mound, which is a little unusual. We usually only see Coach Forehand coming out if he's going to make a pitching change. And there's no one throwing in the Bison's bullpen, so I got to believe that this is more of a checkout visit to Cantola, as he's having a spirited conversation with him. So while he does, we'll look ahead on the schedule. We mentioned the same 2 teams will play here tomorrow with a 2 p.m. Central Time start. And Sunday, they will be the 3rd game of the series, 1 p.m. Central start. Both of those games will be here on YouTube Live, so we invite you to join us if you can't make it out to the ballpark. Again, we're expecting great weather again tomorrow, so please come out if you're in the area, watch some great college baseball between these 2 teams. Sunday is Sunday Fun Day, which means that kids get to run the bases after the game, that is, not during the game. So come on out to the ballpark on Sunday, enjoy great baseball. Kids get to run the bases as this 3-game series will wrap up. The Bisons will then hit the road on Tuesday as they'll play at Austin Peay up in Clarksville, Tennessee, and then they'll turn around and host Austin Peay on Wednesday here at Dugan Field. So back-to-back games against the Austin Peay Governors. Tuesday will be on the road, Wednesday at home, and then a 3-game series next weekend in Athens against the University of Georgia. That's a fastball through there for a strike, and it'll be 3 balls and 1 strike. So whatever Coach Forehand said to Cantola, it seemed to result in him punching one right through there for strike 1. So 3-1 to Matt Barnes, but that's going to miss high and inside, ball 4. So 4th walk already on the day, and again, that's quite uncharacteristic thus far for Cantola. And that'll bring up Andre Dimitrol. Dimitrol grounded out in the first inning, so 0 for 1 on the day. See a little bit of activity starting to stir in the Bison's bullpen. The Bisons are leading 2-0 here in the top of the second, but Cantola has not been as sharp as we've seen him in his 2 previous outings. So Demetrol bats with nobody out and a runner on first, and they'll go to first and chase Barnes back. As we mentioned, Barnes the leading base stealer on this Huskies team, 3 out of 4 in steals on the season, and so he's been their most prolific thief, if we may call it that. And he's got a healthy lead at first base on the right-hander Cantola. Long hold. They're going to chase him back again. A little bit of a better move that time. And he's still back easily. So Barnes runs well. It looks quick on the base paths, and he's there with nobody out. And we'll see how Coach Kunagonis likes to play it here, whether he wants to try to play some small ball and advance the runner around. Bison's in a fairly standard alignment up the middle. Third baseman Will Hoyt even with the bag. Not running, and the pitch is downstairs with the breaking pitch, and he's fallen behind again. 1 ball, no strikes. So in the first inning, Cantola got ahead of the first couple of batters and then walked the third man he faced, gave up a base hit, stolen base, but got a ground out to get out of the inning. He ended up walking 2 in the second inning, but limited the damage with a strikeout to strand a pair. Here comes the 1-0 to Demetrol. Barnes not running, throws high, and he's back in easily. So we mentioned the Bison's pair games with Austin Peay midweek, and they're at University of Georgia next weekend for a 3-game series. Same two teams played last year in Georgia and played a couple of entertaining ball games there. So a 3-game series at University of Georgia next weekend for the Bisons. That's going to be something that he took off of the pitch there, but he got it across for 1 ball and 1 strike. I don't know if that was a breaking ball or if he just took something off his fastball. A ball and a strike to Demetrol with Hirado waiting on deck. We're playing here in the top half of the third inning, and about an extra half step for Barnes. We'll see if he's going here. And he is. And that pitch stays way inside, and Bertolani can just barely glove it. And so you're going to credit Matt Barnes with his 4th stolen base on the season. And it's 2 balls and 1 strikes on Demetrol. And again, Cantola struggling to get a feel to the breaking ball right here. The fastball has been missing a bit inside and high as well. So runner in scoring position for Demetrol. Shields, the second baseman, is going to shade him a bit. And again, he's got a pretty healthy lead there. And that fastball is going to miss off the plate as well. And so down in the count now, 3 balls and 1 strikes is Cantola to Andre Demetrol. Bison's don't open conference play till the weekend of March 18, 19, and 20, where they'll host Jacksonville State. First time for their battle against a new member of the ASUN Conference. Inside move to second. He doesn't throw. His Stamps came over, and Barnes scampers back. So that'll be the Bison's opening conference action on the season. Cantola up to 39 pitches here in the third inning. We mentioned he already has 4 walks on the day. Here comes the 3-1. That's going to be called a strike. Slow call there, but he got the call on that pitch. And again, I don't know if he took something off the fastball or if that was the slider, but he's run the count full on Demetrol here. Batting with nobody out, runner at second. Top of the third inning. Lipscomb leading Northern Illinois 2-0. And here comes the payoff pitch. On and hit back up the middle, base hit. They're going to wave Barnes around third base. Borum's up with it. He's going to throw towards home. Overthrows the cutoff man, and that's going to allow Demetrol to get into second base. So an RBI single for Andre Demetrol. It's a good piece of hitting there for Demetrol as he went right back up the middle. Barnes had a good lead at second, didn't hesitate, came around, and I think it would have taken an absolutely perfect throw to get him, but the throw was high, and it was over the cutoff man's head. And again, Demetrol with a good piece of base running. He alertly saw that, and he goes to second base on the throw. So that'll bring up Eric Hirado. He walked and was stranded in the first inning, and again, batting .321 on the season. So he'll hit now with nobody out and a runner at second, and it's 2-1. Lipscomb now leading Northern Illinois. And we've got some activity now in the Lipscomb bullpen. We'll give you that update in just a moment. First, the first pitch to Hirado. He squares as if to show bunt, and the breaking ball stays high. So just looks like Cantola continues to struggle to find the feel of that breaking ball. And throwing in the pin for the Bisons is number 26, Chandler Giles. The right-hander's getting loose in a hurry down there. There's the 1-0. He squares to bunt, bunts it in front of the plate, and it's going to roll foul. So he deadened it off the bat, but it was rolling down the third base line. Chaz Bernalani, the catcher, alertly let it roll foul, and it did so. And so that'll even the count at a ball and a strike. And again, not a total surprise. Arado runs well. Dimitrol appears to run well at second. He's 2 for 2 in steals on the season. So again, Coach Kunagonis looking to put some pressure on this Bison's defense as Cantola's been struggling out there to find the zone. And so we'll see if he elects to keep the bunt on here. Defensively, second baseman Stamps has shifted over into the hole between first and second. First baseman Williams is back behind the bag. Will Hoyt's playing a step in front of the bag at third, and the shortstop Ketchup is shaded up the middle. So a ball down the third base line would have to be fielded by Cantola, and a ball down the first base line would be tough. He's not bunting. He swings away and hits this in the air towards left field. Maxwell's going back, still going back. It's near the warning track. He gloves it, tagging at second and heading over towards third, and the throw will come there, and he's going to be safe. So Dimitrol with an aggressive play there as he'll advance to third on that fly out to left field. So nice piece of hitting there with Arado. He's retired for the first out of the inning, but the net result is they get the runner over to third base with 1 out now, and that'll bring up Aaron Harper. Harper singled and stole a base back in the first inning, so he's 1 for 1 on the day, 231 on the season, and has 5 RBIs and would love to add to that total. As we mentioned, he's the only player in the Northern Illinois roster who's got a home run this year. He's got 1 to go along with those 5 RBIs. So Dimitrol running at third, 1 out, top of the third inning. Lipscomb leading Northern Illinois 2-1. He swings and hits it on the ground to short. Ketchup is going to come to the plate, throws there, and they're going to tag him, and they got him. So Ketchup was playing at average depth, but he fielded that ball, didn't really hesitate. And again, Dimitrol running all the way, and he'll get cut down for the second out of the inning. So Harper will reach on the fielder's choice, score it 6-2. And second out of the inning, but a big out for the Bisons as they cut down the tying run coming from third. Nice play, Ketchup, and good tag from Bertolani, and that'll bring up Mason Kelly, the first baseman. Kelly grounded out back in the first inning, so he'll bat now with 2 outs and a runner on at first, and that runner is Aaron Harper, 2 for 3 on the season in steals, not running, and he swings through a slider there, 0-1. So big momentum changer there. Again, can't fault him for an aggressive play. Many times teams early in the game will concede that run, and that RBI would have been an easy one with the runner running from third. But Ketchup had made up his mind early in the play that he was going to try to go home, and he made a perfect throw to Bertolani, who put on a great tag and recorded the out. He swings through a slider there, and it's 0-2. So after a shaky start to the inning, Cantola's now got a chance to get out of this by limiting the damage, as he's got Kelly in an 0-2 count. Kosabuki is on deck and would bat if the inning can extend. Long hold. Here's the 0-2. Runner going, swung on and hit foul. Out of play, so the count will again remain 0-2. Harper was taking off and running on that pitch. So again, we mentioned that the Huskies are 13 of 18 in the stolen base department coming into today's game. They've already got 2 stolen bases today, so they're not afraid to get it moving on the base pass. They've shown good speed. They've shown an aggressive mindset, and we'll see if they elect to start the runner again as we await the 0-2 from Cantola to Kelly. It's not running, and he checks his swing. A slider must have missed just inside. Good location there. Didn't catch the plate, though, per home plate umpire Chris Dykman, and so it's a ball and 2 strikes on Mason Kelly. Lights are on here, as we mentioned, mostly overcast. It's starting to get a little bit darker, and so we'll be in full darkness before this one is over, as we await the 1-2 from Cantola. Checks the swing, got him. Beautiful pitch there. Slider caught the inside corner, froze him, and Cantola, for the back-to-back innings, has recorded the 3rd out via strikeout. So that'll strand 1 runner, and the Huskies have already stranded 4 through the first 3 innings. But they do pick up 1 run on 1 hit. And as we head to the bottom half of the 3rd inning, your new score, Lipscomb 2, Northern Illinois 1. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. The bottom half of inning number 3, Lipscomb will send up Bertolani and Wilhoit, along with Malik Williams, to face Reagan Clawwitter. Lipscomb leading Northern Illinois 2-1. Clawwitter really struggled in that first inning, came back and got a 1-2-3 inning in the second inning, and so he'll face 2, 3, and 4 in the Bison's order, starting with Bertolani, who grounded out back in the first. Jazz now batting .357 on the season, 5 hits and 14 at-bats, with 3 runs scored and 3 RBIs. Again, Bertolani batting in the 2-hole today, as Coach Forehand's been shuffling the lineup order around some through the young season. He looks at a fastball on the outside corner, 0-1. Shields was in the leadoff spot earlier in the midweek and stayed there today with Maddox Houghton sidelined after being hit in the face by a pitch on Wednesday. That one's going to miss for ball 1. Defensively for the Huskies, Peters in left, Barnes in center, Arado in right, Harper at third, Demetral at short, Blazevich at second, Kelly at first. Swings through that one for strike 2. Combs is behind the plate. And Reagan Clawwitter is on the mound, the junior lefty, and he's got Chaz Bertolani in a 1-2 count, leading off the bottom of the third inning for the Bisons. Swings through the breaking ball there, stayed high, but he swung through it. So strikeout there, and that'll be the first strikeout of the day for Clawwitter. I'll bring up Trace Wilhoit. Trace, good at bat in the first inning. He doubled and drove in a run to get the Bisons their first run of the game. He hit the ball well. Second pitch he saw from Clawwitter, it went to the left center field wall, and he swings and hits that one down the third base line, but it's going to be foul. That was an off-speed pitch. He had jumped on a fastball in that first at-bat, so he starts him off with a breaking ball here, and he hits it foul, 0-1. We'll get you caught up with some scores from area games involving teams on the Bison schedule, and also some of the Atlantic Sun Conference updates as the A-Sun teams are all in action this weekend. Third weekend of the college baseball season. It's great to see college baseball back. That one's going to miss downstairs. It'll be a ball and a strike. And we'll get you caught up on all that A-Sun action as we move forward here. First, the 1-1. Breaking ball is going to stay downstairs. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. If you've been on our broadcast earlier this year, you know that the A-Sun's divided into 2 divisions this year, the East and the West, with 6 teams in each division. Bisons are on the west side, along with a number of the new members of the conference. That's hit into the gap in right center field. That's going to get out, and Wilhoit's going to be 2 for 2. He's going to round first and take a look, but the right fielder Arado is going to get it back in. So again, nice piece of hitting there for Wilhoit. Good to see him getting on untracked on the season, and so he's 2 for 2 on the day. That'll be the 3rd hit of the day for the Bisons. And with 1 out and a man on first, it'll bring up Malik Williams, who walked and was stranded in the first inning. So Lipscomb has the best record of all the A-Sun teams in the West Division. The Bisons come in today 4-4 overall. All of these are non-conference records. There have been no conference games yet. Second best record belongs to Eastern Kentucky at 4-5. And running is Wilhoit. They're going to throw down to second, and they're going to get him, I believe. Yep, he's retired there. Wilhoit caught stealing. Didn't seem to have a great jump there, I got to say, but nice throw from Combs. He handled it well. The pitch was a strike. And so Wilhoit will be retired for the second out of the inning. And the count will be 0-1 on Malik Williams. So nice play there by Combs, and Wilhoit is cut down on the base paths. After Northern Alabama at 2-4, the rest of the league has struggled on the west side. Central Arkansas 1-6, Jacksonville State 1-6, and Bellarmine 1-8. That one's going to miss just off the plate. It'll be a ball and a strike. So again, Bison's with the best record here on the west side in the young season so far. Again, with no non-conference action, or I'm sorry, with no conference action yet. Fastball's going to miss off the plate as well. That's 2 balls and 1 strike. On the east side of the conference, Kennesaw State with the best record, tied with Liberty. They're both 7-1. Just behind them, Florida Gulf Coast at 7-2. Jacksonville is 6-3. Then Stetson 4-4. North Florida has struggled out of the gate at 2-8. That one misses just inside. Combs held it there, but couldn't get the call. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike on Malik Williams. Rudy Maxwell rates on deck. We've got 2 outs. The bases are empty. Lipscomb is leading Northern Illinois 2-1, and we're in the bottom half of inning number 3, the first game of a 3-game series between these 2 teams. Here's the 3-1. Swung on and hit towards the gap, and that's going to get through just past the shortstop Demetral. Good piece of hitting there from Malik Williams. He takes a base hit. That'll be the 4th Bison's base hit of the day, the 2nd of this inning, and he's aboard with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Rudy Maxwell. Rudy singled and drove in a run back in the first inning, so he's 1 for 1 on the day. Now up to 280 on the season. He's got 4 RBIs. And so Williams will be at first base, where I'm sure he would proudly tell you he is 1 for 1 on stolen bases on the season, but you wouldn't think he'd be running here with 2 outs and the lefty on the mound. And Maxwell looks at an inside fastball, and it'll be 1 ball and no strikes. McMillan waits on deck if Maxwell can extend the inning. Again, Maxwell in left field today. The pattern the Bisons have employed has been having Bertolani catch and Maxwell play left field on Friday, and on Saturday Maxwell does the catching, and then on Sunday they're back to that same Friday alignment. That's hit deep down the left field line. Going over is Peters, still going over. It's going to fall in front of him. Williams is going to make the turn and head towards third, and cruising into second with a stand-up double is Rudy Maxwell. Maxwell hit that one well, and Peters was shaded pretty far off the line, didn't have a chance to catch it, got over and fielded it, but Williams running hard with 2 outs, gets all the way first to third. Maxwell is up at second, and that's 3 hits in the inning for the Bisons, and that'll give Cam McMillan a chance to bat now with 2 outs and runners on second and third. So Rudy stays hot with his second base hit of the day. Both he and Trace Wilhoit are seeing the ball well and are 2 for 2 on the day with 2 base hits, each of them with an extra base hit. So Reagan Clawwitter looks at a second and third and 2 outs, and that's going to be hit high in the air to the right side by McMillan. The first baseman Kelly drifting back, second baseman Blazevich drifting back. He's going to catch it in foul territory, and they're going to retire McMillan for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Bisons will strand 2 more runners. They've stranded 4 as well through the first 3 innings. And despite picking up 3 hits in the inning, the Bisons don't score due to the caught stealing. So we've played 3 full innings. Your score, Lipscomb 2, Northern Illinois 1. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. Top of the 4th inning, Lipscomb leading Northern Illinois 2-1, and it'll be 6, 7, and 8. That's Kosabucky, Peters, and Combs to face right-hander Caleb Cantola. He's started and gone all the way for the Bison so far. He surrendered 2 hits and 1 run. Cantola with 4 walks and 3 strikeouts on the day, so the walk's a little bit atypical for him for sure. So we get set to start the top half of the 4th inning. Game's moving right along here. We're still under an hour as we head into the 4th. And he hits him in the head with that one. A breaking ball that just didn't break. And so Kosabucky is aboard, and again, Cantola still looks like he's struggling with that command of the breaking ball. That'll bring up Malik Peters, the left fielder, who grounded into an unusual double play in the first inning. He was bunting. He bunted it back to the pitcher for a sacrifice. And they recorded the out at first and alertly threw to third and cut down Kosabucky, who was running on the play, rounding second. So instead of a sacrifice, Peters was credited with a grounded into a double play. So he bats now with nobody out and a runner at first. Big lead there for Kosabucky. Again, he showed good speed in that earlier frame, the second inning, when he got aboard. And they'll chase him back to first. Cantola now at 54 pitches through the first 3 innings, plus 1 batter here in the 4th. And that one's going to catch the outside corner, and that'll be 0-1 on Malik Peters, who's now batting .192 on the season. No home runs and 4 RBIs. Here comes the 0-1 from Caleb Cantola. hits that one foul off the end of the bat. It'll be 0-2 against Malik Peters. So we told you we'd get you some scores from area teams. 17th ranked Tennessee is on the road this weekend playing at #1 Texas in the Shriners College Classic in Houston. Kent State is currently leading Austin Peay 7-1 in the bottom of the 7th. We mentioned that the Bisons will play 2 games against the Governors from Austin Peay this week. Eastern Kentucky leading Bowling Green 4-1 in the top of the 8th. Not running, and that one's high, and Bertolani hops up to grab it and takes a look down to first, but Kosobucky was not running. Middle Tennessee is at South Alabama. They don't start until 7:30 p.m. tonight. Boston College, North Florida just underway in the first inning. That's at North Florida. Liberty is leading Canisius 4-1 in the bottom of the 7th. The Flames ranked 20th in the country and off to that 7-2 start so far. Here comes the 1-2. He swung on, hit high in the air on the left side. Will Hoyt going back, Ketchup going back. They're headed towards the bullpen. Ketchup sees it and gloves it there, and he's going to record the out. So Ketchup had to go a long way, but that ball hung up in the air. It was hit very high. And so Peters will be retired on the pop out to the shortstop Ketchup in foul territory. First out of the inning, and Scott Combs will come up. He walked and was stranded back in the 2nd. 1 for 8 on the season is Scott Combs. Back to the scoreboard. Belmont is leading Dayton 3-1 in the top of the 3rd inning. Tennessee Martin is at North Alabama, and they have a 6 p.m. Central Time start tonight. Long hold there, and that's swung on and hit on a line to Ketchup. He fires back to first, and they're going to double him off. So nice play. Ketchup catches the line drive off the bat of Combs, and an unlucky double play there for the Huskies, but a nice play by Ketchup as he will fire back to first and cut down Kosobucky, doubling him off. So nothing doing for the Huskies in the top half of the 4th inning. We head to the bottom of the 4th, and your score remains Lipscomb 2, Northern Illinois 1. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We're going to the home half of the 4th inning. We're at Ken Dugan Field, Stephen Lee Marsh Stadium on the campus of Lipscomb University in Nashville, Tennessee. And Lipscomb is hosting Northern Illinois for a 3-game series. And Ethan Stamps, Tiger Borum, and Caleb Ketchup are going to stand in against Reagan Clawwitter. He's gone all the way for the Huskies. He's surrendered 5 hits so far, but only 2 runs. As the Bisons bat here in the bottom half of the 4th inning, Stamps grounded out back in the 1st inning. And he hits the first pitch foul, 0-1. Stamps now 2 for 9 on the season. Comes the 0-1, and that's going to stay way high and outside. It'll bounce way back to the screen, so it'll even count it a ball and a strike. So we mentioned the Huskies, part of the Mid-American Conference, the West Division. They're located in DeKalb, Illinois, where their home stadium is Ralph McKenzie Field, a nice ballpark that holds 1,500 fans. Huskies last in the NCAA tournament in 1996. They were also conference champions that year. Swung on and hit foul down the 3rd base line, and Stamps is going to be in the hole, a ball and 2 strikes. Huskies have a rich baseball history dating all the way back to 1900 when they started playing as a program. They were independent for a number of years and actually did not have a program between 1983 and 1990, so they restarted their program in 1990 with the Mid-Continent Conference and then joined the Mid-American Conference in 1998. That one's going to stay low for a 2-ball, 2-strike count. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, leading off the bottom of the 4th, and called out on strikes is Stamps. He was fooled by that breaking ball, and he will be retired for the first out of the inning. That'll be the 2nd strikeout of the day for Reagan Clawwitter, and again, he's come on and pitched very effectively here after a rough first inning where he seemed to have trouble landing his breaking ball. Since then, he settled in. He had a 1-2-3 inning in the 3rd. Wound up getting a strikeout and gave up a couple of base hits, but was helped by the caught stealing in the 3rd. So Borum stands in. He's grounded out 0 for 1 on the day. So he laid down a bunt and was thrown out, and he takes a strike. And again, nothing in 1. So again, Clawwitter seems to really be able to land that breaking ball now, and that has helped him come back and be in command. And that's hit foul, and he's got Tiger Borum down in a 0-2 count now. Balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. So we mentioned this is the 8th season for Mike Kunagonis, the head coach of the Huskies. Here's the 0-2, swings through that one for strike 3. It falls to the ground, but they'll throw on to first, and they're actually going to throw it away, and that's going to allow Borum to reach on the drop 3rd strike. So Borum goes down on strikes, but reaches as a result of a drop 3rd strike and just a throw that Combs lollipopped a little bit, and it went over the head of Kelly at first base. So Borum is going to be a strikeout victim, but will reach on the dropped 3rd strike. That'll bring up Caleb Ketchup. He flew out to left field back in the 1st inning, or correction, in the 2nd inning. So Coach Kunagogis was at Virginia Tech, working his way all the way up from volunteer assistant to associate head coach before he came to Northern Illinois. And they've got Borum picked off. They're going to throw to second, and they're going to get him there. So Borum running on that first move, and he's going to be cut down. What'll go down as a caught stealing. Again, first move steal, and Clawwitter threw to first, and first baseman Kelly throws over to Dimitrov covering at second, and so that's 2 outs in the inning, and the Bisons have run themselves into outs in both the 3rd and the 4th inning, so that'll make 2 outs and still no count on Ketchup. He'll bat now with 2 outs and the bases empty. We're in the bottom half of inning number 4, and Lipscomb leads Northern Illinois 2-1, and Ketchup hits this one high in the air to center field. A carbon copy of his at bat in the 1st inning, only this one's going to center. Barnes is under it, and he will record the 3rd out of the inning. So a nice inning there for Clawwitter, who's really come out and settled in. Nothing doing for the Bisons. We've got 4 innings in the books here at Kent Dugan Field, and your score: Lipscomb 2, Northern Illinois 1. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. Top of the 5th inning, 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors, Lipscomb. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, Northern Illinois, and it'll be 9-1-2 for the Huskies here. Right-hander Caleb Cantola has Gone all the way for the Bisons. Surrendered those 2 hits, but he surrendered 4 walks as well, as we mentioned, so he's had himself in some danger in a couple of innings. Blazevich was a strikeout victim back in the 2nd, and he looks at a off-speed pitch that will get in there for strike 1. So game moving along. We're an hour 10 minutes in, and we're already in our 5th inning here as both pitchers have settled into a rhythm. Here comes the 0-1, swings through the slider on the outside part, and he's quickly down 0-2 is Jack Blazevich. So we mentioned the Huskies off to a tough start this season. Last year they were 16-38 with a 15-25 record in the conference. So 40 conference games played last year. That's a breaking ball that'll bounce up there, and the count will stay at 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Huskies did play Bellarmine last year, lost a 7-4 contest in a midweek game. I believe that was the only common opponent that the teams had last year. Swung on and hit high in the air. It's going to stay in the infield. It's behind the mound. Looks like Ketchup is calling for it. And he'll glove it for the first out of the inning. So Blazevich is retired for the 2nd time today. That turns us back to the top of the order, and Matt Barnes. Barnes was a strikeout victim in the 1st, and then he reached via a walk, stole a base, and scored the only run of the day for the Huskies. So he'll stand in there batting for the 3rd time of the day here in the 5th inning with 1 official at bat, 0 for 1 on the day. 355 on the season is his average. Got a slider in there to strike 1. So we've seen better command of the breaking ball here from Cantola as he's settled in. He's at 62 pitches. Do see a couple of guys throwing in the Lipscomb bullpen, and we'll see how deep they elect to take him here. Here comes the 0-1. That's going to stay way inside and get back to the screen. It'll be a ball and a strike. I believe he wound up at around 90 pitches or so in his last outing last week, so he's shown the ability to go a little bit higher into that pitch count. I know that's something the coaches monitor closely here early in the season. Here comes the 1-1. Swung on and hit foul and out of play on the right side. It'll be a ball and 2 strikes on Matt Barnes. Andre Dimitrol will wait on deck. A couple of other scores from ASUN teams. Butler and Jacksonville just underway in the 1st inning. Florida Gulf Coast hosts Seton Hall with a 6:30 Central start. Fastball stays high. Bellarmine is at Presbyterian this weekend. No score there in the 1st. Kennesaw State is at Troy. Stetson is hosting Sacred Heart. They're in the 1st inning. Central Arkansas hosting South Dakota State. So that's your ASUN and area team scoreboard. We'll keep you update. Got him on a fastball outside corner. Excellent location there for that pitch. And Barnes will be down on strikes for the 2nd time of the day, and that'll be the 2nd out of the inning. Be the 4th strikeout of the day for Cantola now to go with the 4 walks that he has, and that'll bring up Andre Dimitrol. Dimitrol grounded out in the 1st, had an RBI single back in the 3rd inning, driving in the only run of the day, and that one stays way inside and almost hits him as well. So breaking ball still a little inconsistent at this point for Cantola. Dimitrol batting .273 on the year. Now got a pair of RBIs. Here comes the 1-0. That one's going to catch the outside corner, and it'll even the count at a ball and a strike. Arado waits on deck if Dimitrol can reach here with 2 outs and the base is empty. 1-1 is breaking ball that's going to stay inside, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. So you see Cantola trying to work both sides of the plate. He's throwing that breaking pitch a little more effectively probably to the outside or to his glove side than the arm side so far today. And here comes the 2-1. Throws it again and gets a strike there. That was right down Broadway. So it'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes on Andre Dimitrol. Throwing in the Bison's bullpen remains Chandler Giles, the right-hander. He was up earlier. As we await the 2-2. Swings and fouls it off the fist, gets it back to the screen, stays alive. The count will remain 2-2. Same 2 teams tomorrow. It'll be at 2 p.m. Central first pitch, and on Sunday 1 p.m. Central time. Both of those games here on YouTube Live. If you're in the area, please come out to the ballpark. If not, we welcome you to join us here. Here comes the 2-2. Swings and taps it foul down the third baseline. Will Hoyt will glove it, but it was well foul. So we'll stay at a 2-2 count for Cantola against Andre Dimitrol. mentioned the Huskies coming in batting just 235 as a team, but we've seen them take some good swings here. Had some good-looking hitters up to the plate, and a lot of times northern teams haven't been able to get outside a lot earlier in the season, and those bats take a little while to get going. That's a fastball that misses high, and Dimitrov has run the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. We mentioned the Huskies playing around 20 or 21 games to open the season on the road before they get home, so very extended road trip. Here comes the payoff. Takes the breaking ball high, and that's ball 4. So 5th walk of the day for Kentola. And with 2 outs and a runner on at first, that's going to bring up the right fielder, Eric Arado. Arado walked in the first and flew out to left field in the third. So he is now 0 for 1 on the day. I'll put him at 9 for 29 on the season, or 310 for those of you checking the math on that one. Second highest average for anybody on the team that's played in most all 8 of the games so far. Modest lead at first. Fastball is going to stay high, and he's falling behind Arado 1-0. Dimitrov on the season 2 for 2 on stolen bases. Second baseman Stamps pulled over into the hole between first and second and back a step on the outfield grass. Ketchup shaded just a bit up the middle from third base. Long hold here. Here comes the 1-0. And breaking ball is going to stay off the plate. It'll be 2 balls and no strikes. Outfield straight away. Maxwell playing a little bit deep in left, and Shields playing deep in right. Center fielder Borum's playing relatively more shallow compared to those two. Dimitrov's base hit did go to center field back in the 3rd inning. Here comes the 2-0 pitch from Cantola. Instead, they're going to go to first. Chasing back, and he's back easily. Again, he's got a fairly average lead over there. We've seen some more aggressive leads from the Huskies. This is not one of them. Cantola has shown us a good move to first, and he's also done a good job varying the holes. You'll see him with a lot of different lengths on those holes that he puts as the runners are on base. We remind you, we do have a 20-second pitch clock in effect, so he has to be a little bit careful on that point. There is one warning that would come before an automatic ball being assessed. 2-0 is going to stay outside and high, and that's 3-0. Still struggling to find the feel of that breaking pitch. And you'd have to wonder if this is his man to get, that if he loses this gentleman, his day could be over. So we'll see how they like to play it. 3-0, 2 outs, runner on at first. Lipscomb leading 2-1 over Northern Illinois. We're in the top half of the 5th inning. The 3-0's way high, missed with that one, ball 4. So 2 walks in the inning now, and that'll advance Dimitrov down to second, Arado to first. Again, that's 5 walks on the day, and I think that is indeed going to be the end of the day for Caleb Cantola. So Coach Jeff Forehand jogs out to the mound. We'll step aside and tell you all about the new pitcher when we return. Again, your score, Lipscomb 2, Northern Illinois 1. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. Bison's pitcher, sophomore right-hander Chandler Giles, 6'1", 195-pounder out of Fremont, California, via San Joaquin Delta College. Giles on for his 4th appearance on the season. He's worked 2 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, so no record and a 13.50 ERA. And he comes in with runners at first and second and 2 outs. He's on in relief of Caleb Cantola here in the top of the 5th, with the Lipscomb Bisons leading the Northern Illinois Huskies 2-1. First pitch misses inside with a fastball, 1-0. Recapping this inning, Blazevich popped out to short. Barnes called out on strikes, and then back-to-back walks finished Cantola's day. As Chandler Giles comes on to try to hold it right here. Harper is 1 for 2 on the day, singled in the first and hit into a fielder's choice in the 3rd, and that's going to be a strike through there, and it'll leave the count at a ball and a strike. Giles out of Fremont, California, played at Kennedy High School. And he gets him to swing through a pitch there, 1 ball, 2 strikes. So fun fact on Giles, he's got 4 cousins who have played or are playing in the NFL. And one's currently playing in the Canadian Football League. So a lot of football players in Chandler Giles' family. But today he stands on the mound and has a chance now with a 1 ball, 2 strike count to get out of this inning without any damage for the Bisons. Aaron Harper batting with 2 on, 2 outs. And the 1-2 from Giles. Breaking ball hit into right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. They're going to wave Dimitrol. The throw from Shields is going to come up the line and not in time, as Bertolani had to step forward. And it's going to be a 2-out RBI single from Dimitrol, or correction, from Harper. So nice piece of hitting there from Harper. He had an outside pitch. He was down 2 strikes. He didn't try to do too much with it. Hit it softly into right field. Shields came up, made a strong throw, but Bertolani had to take a step up the line and in front of the plate, and he could not get back in time to tag Dimitrol, and he'll score. And we've got a tie ball game as Northern Illinois and Lipscomb are tied 2-2. Runner still at second and third with 2 outs, and Mason Kelly is batting, and he is grounded out and struck out 0 for 2 on the day, and he looks at a fastball through there for strike 1. So Irado now running at third, Harper running at second, and credit to Harper, his 2nd base hit on the day, and he's got an RBI on that one. And he's tied the ball game at 2-2, 3rd hit of the day for the Huskies. The Bisons have 5 hits, but also only 2 runs. And here comes the 0-1 from Giles. Fastball misses outside, and it'll be 1 ball and 1 strike. So that run will be charged to Caleb Cantola. We'll close the book on him in just a few moments, but again, he got 2 quick outs and then had back-to-back walks, and that first run of the inning has scored. And he is still responsible for the man at third. And that's hit down past the diving Will Hoyt. They're waving Harper around to come in with the run, and it's going to be past everybody, and Giles is going to have to chase that one down. And so 2 runs are going to score, and Northern Illinois is going to go ahead 4-2. So nice piece of hitting there from Mason Kelly. Hit the ball past the diving Will Hoyt. Again, Irado easily scored from third. Harper running aggressively. Throw from left fielder Rudy Maxwell went over everybody's head, and that allowed Kelly to jog down to second as well. So now he's at second base. That's 2 base hits in the inning and 3 runs total that have scored. And Caden Kasabucky is going to bat. Kasabucky has walked and been hit by a pitch, so he's been on base twice and doesn't have an at-bat yet today. And Giles misses high with a fastball, 1 ball and no strikes. So 2 walks, back-to-back base hits, and the Huskies have had themselves a rally here, putting 3 runs across so far here in the top of the 5th. They're leading Lipscomb 4-2. Giles breaking ball just stayed inside, and that's going to be 2 balls and no strikes. Malik Peters waits on deck. Giles on in relief of Caleb Cantola, and you can close the book now on Cantola. He'll go 4 2/3, give up 2 hits with 3 runs. All 3 will be earned. 6 walks against 4 strikeouts on the day. So story of the day for Cantola were just those walks got him in trouble. That's hit it flared on the right side. It's in foul territory, giving chase to Shields, still giving chase, and he can't quite get there. That landed right up against the fence toward the bullpen area. And Shields had a long way to go. He was shaded over towards center field, and he's disappeared somewhere inside the fence, and we haven't seen him reappear yet. Looks like he's coming out now. I believe the padding might have given way, and he found himself outside the ballpark there. And John might have been asking if he had to get a ticket to get back in. And he disappeared outside the fence there for a minute, and we lost him. So long run for Shields. It'll go down as a strike, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike now on Caden Kosabucky, who's batting with Mason Kelly in second base, and 2 outs. 3 runs already home this inning for the Huskies. And here comes the 2-1 from Giles. Swings and fouls it off the fist. He jammed him. And it'll be 2-2. Malik Peters waits on deck if Kosabucky can keep the inning alive here for the Huskies. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at second base, and Chandler Giles would like to limit the damage right here. That one's on the inside corner. He gets him on a called strike 3. Nice pitch there, and he will record the 3rd out in the inning. But the Huskies score 3 runs on 2 base hits. They leave 1 on base. There were no Bison errors in the inning, and as we head to the bottom half of the 5th, we've got a new score. It's Northern Illinois 4 and Lipscomb 2. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. Home half of the 5th inning, 4 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Northern Illinois Huskies, 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors for the Lipscomb Bisons. And the junior left-hander Reagan Clawwitter is back out for the Huskies. He faces the top of the Bison's order here in the 5th inning, and that'll be Shields, Bertolani, and Wilhoit. Shields has been hit by a pitch, scored a run, and grounded out. So 0 for 1 on the day is John Shields, 250 on the season. Clawwitter is sitting at 52 pitches now as we get ready to head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Again, he's surrendered 5 hits, 2 runs, just 2 earned, and that's a ball hit on a line, but gloved by Dimitrov for the 1st out of the inning. So he was shaded toward the middle, and he had to go and glove that one on his backhand side. A nice play there. As Shields will be retired for the 1st out of the inning. 1 pitch, 1 out. I'll bring up Chaz Bertolani. He's grounded out and struck out on the day, 0 for 2. Bertolani batting .333 now in the young season. And again, for Clawwitter, one of the things that's been key, he's only got 1 walk on the day, does have 3 strikeouts. So even though he surrendered 5 hits, just 1 walk. The Bisons, again, have hurt themselves on the base paths as they've been caught stealing and also picked off. And that fastball just off the plate. It'll be 1 ball and no strikes to Bertolani. Bison scored 2 runs in the bottom half of the 1st inning. There was no scoring until the top of the 3rd when the Huskies put up 1, and then the Huskies tacked on 3 more in the top of the 5th, and that's where we are right now at a 4-2 ball game as Northern Illinois leads. It's a fastball that misses downstairs, 2-0 on Bertolani. We have a couple of guys throwing also in the Northern Illinois bullpen. We're not able to get a number from our vantage point, but we will keep you posted on that as we watch. That's going to catch the inside corner, and it'll be 2 balls and 1 strike. We mentioned that Clawwitter is making his 3rd start, but he only had 8 innings pitched, so a total of 8 innings in his first 2 starts on the season. 2-1 inside, catches the corner, though. And that's going to be 2-2 on Chaz Bertolani. Trace Wilhoit waits on deck. Logan Van Treat get the start on the mound for the Bisons tomorrow, and Ike Buxton on Sunday, so the same three-man rotation that Coach Forehand has employed for the first 2 weekends, again here this weekend. That one's going to miss high, and Bertolani has run the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pretty standard defensive alignment. Have not seen a lot of shifting from either team so far this evening. I'd say the shortstop Dimitral hidden toward the corner just a little bit, or toward the hole, and Bertolani takes a curveball high for ball 3, and he'll be aboard with a 1-out walk, and that'll bring up Trace Wilhoit, who's having himself a day. He's 2 for 2. He's got a double and a single. Drove in the first run of the day for the Bisons. He was, however, caught stealing after that single in the 3rd, but he's been on base twice, up to 261 on the season, and starting to see the ball well. He's a young man that Coach Forehand was very high on. Told us that going to be an excellent hitter for this team. Expects him to hit in the middle of the order, so you knew it was a matter of time before his bat got going. First season as a Bison. That's a breaking ball that'll miss high. Be 1 ball and no strikes. Trace Wilhoit, 6'3", 200-pounder out of Georgetown, Kentucky, and previously was at Northwest Florida State. And Combs is going to go out to the mound and chat for a minute with Claude Witter, and this may be a chance to let the bullpen have a little bit more activity. We know that the Bison softball team is in action next door as well. We'll try to get you a score on that. Both Bison's men's and women's basketball teams wrap their season up this week with the Atlantic Sun Conference Tournament. So now it's baseball and basketball that are carrying the torch for Bison athletics. Throw's going to go to first, and Bertolani's going to scamper back. So 1 ball, no strikes on Wilhoit. 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 5th, and Northern Illinois is leading Lipscomb 4-2. They again go to first. And Bertolani will scamper back. Bertolani 1 for 1 on steals on the season. Last year he was 1 for 2 on steals. Ball in the dirt. Blocked up by Combs, and it's 2-0. Nice play there. Malik Williams waits on deck. As we mentioned, the Bisons have out-hit the Huskies 5-4, but the Huskies have had the timely base hits, as we have a flock of geese that flies right over the infield in formation, but they have cleared themselves out of play. That's a breaking ball that's hit foul and out of place, 2-1. Those of you tuning in at home that haven't been to the ballpark, there's a large pond just on the other side of the right field fence beyond the trees, and it is a haven for a variety of geese and ducks who will often vocally announce their presence during the game. And a large flock of geese just decided to take a tour of the field, but they've vacated now. And here comes the 2-1 pitch to Bertolani, or to Wilhoit. Instead, they're going to throw at Bertolani 1 more time, chasing him back. Bisons have shown the ability to do some hit and run on the season. We mentioned 17 for 19 on stolen bases for the season, and he swings and fouls that one back, and it'll be 2-2. Bertolani was not going on that pitch. Symmetric ballpark here. We're 330 down each foul line, 375 to the power alleys, and 400 in dead center field. About an 8-foot wall that goes around throughout the entire stadium. So symmetric ballpark, natural grass surface, beautifully cared for by Colby Rawls and his staff. They do an amazing job keeping this surface ready to play, and it's always in terrific shape. They're going to throw at Bertolani again, and Jazz is easily back. He doesn't even have to get his uniform dirty this time. They are showing a lot of respect to the Bison's catcher. This situation with a 2-ball, 2-strike count, 1 out here. As Wilhoit will await from Clawwitter. Once again going to first. They are really thinking hard about Bertolani. He is apparently showing them something that they feel like Bison's may be trying to go. Sometimes pitchers aren't trying to pick you off. They're just trying to freeze you, just take a step off, take a second off. And Wilhoit's going to swing through that off-speed pitch, and he'll be retired for the 2nd out of the inning. So first time that they've been able to keep him off the base paths. That'll bring up Malik Williams. Malik has walked and singled. 1 for 1 on the day, batting .333 on the season. And he'll bat now with 2 outs and that runner at first. Again, Malik leads the Bisons with 3 home runs and 11 RBIs on the season. Hasn't hit 1 out in a little while. Started opening day with a big blast and was red hot through the first weekend, but he's a guy who can change the complexion of the game with this one swing of the bat. Looks at a breaking ball inside. Nice play by Combs to keep it in front of him. It's 1 ball, no strike. Rudy Maxwell would be on deck, or is on deck rather, if Malik can extend this inning. Malik's a senior out of Toronto, Canada, was previously at Johnson County Community College. He's in his 3rd season here on campus. They'll throw to first again. He was the Bison's leading hitter in 2021. He batted .320, 2 home runs, 23 RBIs, 360 on base percentage. Checks his swing, and they said he did go, and that one caught the corner, and it'll be a ball and a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bottom half of the 5th inning, and Lipscomb trailing Northern Illinois 4-2. Breaking ball way outside. Snap throw to first, but Bertolani read it and was back easily. Shields started out the inning. He lined out to the shortstop, and then Bertolani walked. Will Hoyt was down on strikes, and that's what's got us to this 2 ball, 1 strike, 2 out situation. And if you're just joining us, the Huskies jumped out with 3 runs in the top of the 5th, and they've gone ahead 4-2. And that's a breaking ball just inside and down, 3-1. So again, Williams really become much more disciplined early on in his Bison's career. He would offer at most of those breaking pitches. Now he's become very disciplined and really knows the strike zone, become an excellent 2-strike hitter. But he's got a 3 ball, 1 strike count here. And we'll see if they elect to go off speed. Instead, they go fastball. It's back up the middle, but they had him played there. And the second baseman, Blazevich, is going to glove it and step on the bag for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Bisons will strand 1 more. They've stranded 5 runners through the first 3 innings. And as we complete 5 innings of play, your score, Northern Illinois 4 and Lipscomb 2. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. As we head to the top half of the 6th inning, Lipscomb has a new pitcher on the mound. He's sophomore Gavin Grubbs, 5'10", 770-pounder out of Canton, Georgia, Creekview High School. Grubbs is on making his 3rd appearance on the season. He's worked 1 1/3 innings, has not given up a hit, no runs, no earned runs. He's walked 2 and struck out 2. So 0-0 record with a 0.00 ERA, and he's the 3rd Bison's pitcher of the day as Caleb Cantola started. Chandler Giles came in the 5th, and now Gavin Grubbs here in the 6th. And he starts off with a fastball that misses down and away to Malik Peters. Peters tried to bunt and instead wound up bunting into a double play back in the 2nd inning, and he lined out to shortstop in the 4th. So looking for his first hit on the day, and that's going to be a breaking ball catching the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. So Grubbs will come at you, attack you from that side arm or low 3/4 arm slot. Throws a slider that'll slide across the right, away from the right-handers. Also a fastball that has some sneaky velocity to it. That's going to be an inside slider. It'll be 2 balls and 1 strike. Grubbs last season had 13 appearances, all in relief, 8 2/3 innings, 15 hits, 7 runs, 7 earned, walked 8, and struck out 10. And the 2-1 is just off the outside corner, 3 balls and 1 strike. So it'll be Peters, Combs, and Blazevich scheduled here, 7, 8, 9 for the Northern Illinois Huskies as we enter the top half of the 6th inning. They've got 4 hits, the Bisons have 5, but importantly, the Huskies have 4 runs, the Bisons have 2, and that one's going to miss outside. And it's going to be a leadoff walk to Malik Peters. So he's on base for the first time today. I'll bring up Scott Combs, the catcher. He's walked and lined out to short. Peters 2 for 3 on the season in stolen bases. Looks like Combs has 1 sacrifice on the season, so we'll see how they elect to play it. Very generous lead at first. He's swinging away, and that one almost goes to the backstop. Snap throw to first. Gets out of the glove of Malik Williams, but I think he'd have been safe anyway, so it's a ball and no strikes, and pitching coach Matt Meyer is going to stroll out to the mound to talk to his sophomore right-hander Gavin Grubbs. So as he does that, we'll take a look back at our scoreboard. We mentioned that we'll update you again on area teams and Atlantic Sun Conference teams. We mentioned 17th ranked Tennessee playing number 1 Texas tonight in Houston, Texas at the Shriners College Classic. Kent State continues to lead Austin Peay. That one's 7-1 now in the bottom of the 8th inning. Eastern Kentucky's gone final. They beat Bowling Green 4-1. Middle Tennessee, South Alabama will start up at 7:30 Central. Boston College on top of North Florida 3-0 in the top of the 2nd. Liberty has beaten Canisius 4-1. That's 20th ranked Liberty. And Belmont continues to lead Dayton 4-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. And underway now, Tennessee Martin and North Alabama, they're scoreless in the 3rd inning. So counts 1 ball, no strikes to Scott Combs. Malik Peters running at first. Nobody out in the top of the 6th, and that's a strike through there. He's taken all the way, and it's a ball and a strike. Jack Blazevich waits on deck for the Huskies, who've come out and been very aggressive at the plate, aggressive on the base paths, and played good baseball so far here today, and they lead 4-2 in the top of the 6th. Frisbee slider outside, again a throw to first, and again sliding back in there is Peters, so it'll be 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, Peters has a pretty generous primary lead, stretching that secondary lead out enough that he's drawing the throw down from Bertolani. He's thrown down twice in this at-bat. Action still in the Bison's bullpen. Looks like a lefty that's throwing. We'll get you in when we can. Snap throw to first. Good move. Again, Grubbs with a good move to first. But they are unsuccessful, and we await the 2-1 pitch from Grubbs. Runner fakes and is not going, and the pitch stays high, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Looks like throwing is the left-hander Matthew Bonners, throwing in the Bison's bullpen. And so Grubbs has gone 3-1 after walking Malik Peters to start off the top of the 6th inning as he's on in relief here. And here comes the 3-1 pitch, and that's swung on and hit towards the hole. Ketchup is not going to be able to glove it, and it's going to get into left field for a base hit. I thought Caleb might get over there and grab that one, but it got under his glove, and it'll go as a base hit. And the Huskies have another rally going here in the 6th inning. That'll be their 6th hit on the day. And it'll put runners at first and second for the second baseman, Jack Blazevich. Blazevich struck out swinging in the 2nd and then popped out to short in the 5th. And we'll see here if they elect to sacrifice the runners around, but looks like that there's going to at least be a mound conference. Coach Forehand's headed out to the mound, and he's going to signal to the bullpen. So we'll step aside as we have the pitching change, and we'll be back with you to tell you all about the new pitcher in the situation. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. pitcher for the Bisons is the sophomore left-hander Matthew Bonnert, 5'7", 180-pounder out of Cave Creek, Arizona via South Mountain Community College. And he has been incredibly effective so far earlier in the season. He's got 2 appearances, 5 1/3 innings. He's given up just 1 hit. No runs, no earned runs. He's walked 3 and struck out 7. Opposing hitters batting just .063 against Matthew Bonner. So by far he has been the most effective pitcher on the entire staff this season. First year in the Bison's uniform, and he has been terrific for Coach Matt Myers and Coach Jeff Forehand and the Bison. So he comes on in the tough spot here in the top of the 6th inning. To recap, we're at 4 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Huskies, 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Bisons. But the Huskies have loaded the first 2 men on base in this inning. They started with a walk by Malik Peters and then a base hit by Scott Combs, and they've got runners first and second now with nobody out. And Jack Blasevich, the second baseman, is batting. As we mentioned, he struck out and popped out on the day. And Blasevich does not have a sacrifice on the season, but we'll see if they elect to try to bring the runners over. First baseman Malik Williams is thinking that. He's playing in front of the runner at first. Will Hoyt playing a step in front of the bag at third. Ketchup flashes over to the bag. He is bunting, and he takes off, pitch back, and takes it downstairs for ball 1. So he showed bunt there, did Blasevich, and took downstairs. So 1 ball, no strikes. You see Bonnert staring at a card. The Bisons use a system where when a runner's on second, they'll flash the signal to both pitcher and catcher and use that card to determine the pitch. He's squaring again. Pitch is going to go all the way to the backstop, and it's going to come back to Bertolani, but that'll do the job of advancing the runner. So that'll go down as a wild pitch. And it'll be 2 balls and no strikes on Jack Blasevich as Bonnert, hard-throwing left-hander, has got a very powerful fastball, a good breaking ball, and a changeup, but that one missed the zone, so 2 balls, no strikes. And the infield's going to come in now. All the Bison's infielders a step or so behind the grass. I suspect as the pitch is delivered, they'll be ending up on the grass. Here's the 2-0. That one's going to be through there for a strike, taking all the way. He took something off the fastball and got it across. 2 balls and 1 strike. Borum is shallow and a step or 2 towards the right field side and center, and Maxwell and Shields in left and right respectively are at normal depth. And Bertolani will jog out to the mound, and maybe there's some confusion on the card system. Hopefully they have both the same card. That would be a bit chaotic if they're using different cards between pitcher and catcher. Another new innovation this season in college baseball, if you haven't heard or read about it, is that there is a headset system that can be used. The dugout can call in pitches to the catcher. The catcher wears a small earpiece. It's a one-way communication. The catcher cannot communicate back to the dugout, but the dugout is able to call pitches to the catcher throughout the course of the at-bat. And so most teams using that system or some variety thereof. The Bisons use it, but with a runner on second base, they go to the card system. So, and we're going to have time called at the plate as Blasevich is granted time. We mentioned also that there is a pitch clock, so 20 seconds is allotted to the pitcher from the time he receives the ball back until the time he has to deliver the pitch. There is 1 warning that's given. So here's the 2-1, and that's strike at the knees, 2-2. So good spot for that pitch as Bonnert battled back after a little cat and mouse with stepping out and calling time and so forth. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner second and third, nobody out. Top of the 6th inning, and Northern Illinois is already leading 4-2 as they try to get their first win on the season here on the road against Lipscomb. And he gets him, strike 3. Fastball on the inside corner. Great spot for Bonnert. He'll get his first strikeout of the day, and it comes at a big moment, but the runners advance to second and third nonetheless, and we're to the top of the order in Matt Barnes. Barnes has struck out twice, once swinging, once looking, and he's walked. So 0 for 2 on the day for the leadoff hitter Barnes. And again, the Bison infield will remain in on the grass with runners second and third and 1 out now in the top of the 6th. Matthew Bonnert on in relief of Gavin Grubbs, and he's the 4th pitcher of the day for the Bisons. Fastball is off the plate for ball 1. Bonnert can throw that outside fastball, a little run away from right-handed hitters. He's got some arm side run on it. He also can spot it up inside as he did there to get Blasevich. So again, hard-throwing left-hander on in relief for the Bisons. And the 1-0 is a breaking ball downstairs, and that'll be 2 balls and no strikes. Bonnert out of Cave Creek, Arizona. We mentioned he played at South Mountain Community College. Last year he had 48 strikeouts in 30 2/3 innings and 11 appearances. 6 of those were starts. Picked up a couple wins on the season. That misses inside, and Bonnert is now behind 3-0. 2020 appeared in 6 games 5 2/3 innings, 3 strikeouts on the year. So he's also playing his first season here in Nashville, and here's the 3-0, and that's the automatic there on the outside part. 3-1. Andrew Demetrol waits on deck as the Huskies are threatening again here in the top of the 6th inning. They scored 3 runs in the top of the 5th. And they've been the aggressive team here at the plate in the middle innings so far. Here comes the 3-1 from Bonnert to Barnes. Swung on and hit towards Ketchup. He's going to look at the runner at third. He's going to throw on to first. They're going to pull Williams off the bag. Or are they going to say he was there? And they say indeed he did. First base umpire Creel Waddell was pulled over between first and second. But he says Williams was able to get off and get back. And that's a big second out of the inning for the Bisons. Again, Ketchup drawn in, playing on the edge of the grass. Snap decision, looked at the runner at third. He was not running, and he throws on to first. And even though the throw pulled Williams off, he got back in time. So 2 outs now, runners second and third, and that'll bring up Andre Demetrol. He's grounded out and has got a base hit and walked on the day. So 1 for 2 with an RBI and has scored a run. And Bonnert's going to miss inside for ball 1. Infield will be back at normal depth now with 2 outs. And Bonnert with a chance to limit further damage here. Takes high for a ball. That'll be 2 balls and no strikes. So 2 balls, no strikes. Runner second and third with 2 outs. Arado waits on deck. That's right through there for a strike. 2-1. Took something off the fastball and landed it. Looked like he was probably taking all the way. So 2-1 account on Demetrol. Demetrol now heading 273 on the season. He's got 2 RBIs, got a chance to pick up a couple more if he can drop a base hit in here. And Bonnert would like to keep that from happening. Here's the 2-1 breaking ball just off the corner, 3-1. So slider that just didn't catch the corner, and he's gone 3-1 now. Again, the inning started with a walk and a base hit. And then Bonnert came on and got a strikeout and a ground out, and so that's got us to this position of 3-1 count with runners second and third and 2 outs. Lipscomb's trailing Northern Illinois 4-2, and that's a curveball that gets in there for strike 2. So big pitch there from Bonnert, 3-1. He goes back to the breaking ball and lands it. And so we're to a full count, and it's going to be Bonnert against Demetrol to see if the Bisons can hold it right here. Here comes the payoff pitch. And he's going to get him, strike 3. Demetrol is not happy about that call. But Bonnert comes on and does a great job getting 2 strikeouts and a ground out. And the Huskies will strand 2 more base runners. They've now stranded 7 on the day, but they do not score here in the 6th inning. And we'll head to the bottom half of the 6th with your score, Northern Illinois 4 and Lipscomb 2. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. Home half of the 6th inning, Lipscomb will send up Maxwell, McMillan, and Stamps to face the lefty Reagan Clawwitter. Clawwitter's gone all the way. He's pitched 5 innings, giving up 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. 68 pitches total to get him through those 5 innings. And struggled in the first inning. The Bisons put up a pair, but since then he's settled in and he's set the Bisons down with a couple of 1-2-3 innings along the way. And so Bisons will bat here in the bottom of the 6th. Again, Clawwitter had struggled in his first 2 starts, only lasting 8 innings total, giving up 17 hits, 5 walks, and 9 strikeouts. And Maxwell hits that one high and foul on the right side, and giving chase is Catcher Combs and first baseman Kelly, but that's going to land in the dugout. I don't think they saw that particularly well. We're kind of that time of night when it's a little tough. The sky's still just got a hint of light out. The lights are on. And I don't think either Kelly or Combs saw that ball particularly well. So it'll fall as strike one, and Rudy Maxwell will stay alive. Rudy's had a good day at the plate so far. He's 2 for 2 with a single and a double. Drove in the first Bison's run of the day with an RBI single back in the first. Now up to 308 on the season. He hits a pitch straight back, and it'll be 0-2. So, as we said, Clawwitter had struggled in his command in the first inning. Hit the first batter, gave up a double, walked a man, gave up a single, and ended up surrendering 2 runs. But since then, he settled in nicely. Has just 2 walks on the day against 4 strikeouts. So, good outing from Ryan Clawwitter, and he's going to miss down with that one. It'll be a ball and 2 strikes. And I'm sure that Coach Kunagonis will be pleased with this bounce-back performance from Reagan Clawwitter. Here comes the 1-2, swings through it for strike 3, and he's down on strikes on the breaking ball is Rudy Maxwell, first out of the inning. That'll bring up Cam McMillan. McMillan's 0 for 2 on the day. He's grounded out and popped out. And he'll bat with 1 out and the bases empty. McMillan still looking for his first hit on the season. 0 for 8 so far in limited action. First-year player for the Bisons. Makes his home in Kansas City, Missouri, and he'll take a strike. 0-1. Again, one of the things we've seen Clawwitter do here as he's gotten deeper in the game is getting ahead with these Bisons hitters, getting more comfortable throwing the breaking ball. That's one that bounced up there, and that'll be a ball and a strike. Early on, the breaking ball really struggled to land it. And since he's been able to land it, he's been able to pitch off that, pitch backwards some to some of these hitters, starting them with the off-speed pitches and then coming back around to his fastball. Stamps on deck. McMillan swings and taps it back towards the mound. It's going to be gloved by Clawwitter. He'll throw on to first. That'll be the second out of the inning, and so Ethan Stamps will stand in. He's also 0 for 2 on the day. He's grounded out to short and called out on strikes. Stamps now 2 for 10 on the young season. Starting his 5th game of the year. Again, same 2 teams tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central start, 1 p.m. start on Sunday, and that's a curveball that's going to get in there for a strike. Both of those games will be broadcast here on YouTube Live. If you're not able to join us at the ballpark, again, we invite you to come out and watch some good college baseball action. Sunday is Sunday Fun Day, and kids get to run the bases after the game, and so come on out to the ballpark, catch the game, and let the kiddos run the bases afterwards. That's a curveball that stays high, and it's a 1-1 strike on Ethan Stamps. Tiger Borum waits on deck for the Bisons. Although we've also seen Brian Hama grab a bat there, so not sure if he might get an at-bat somewhere along the line here. But it's a 2-1 strike count on Stamps with 2 outs and the bases empty, bottom of the 6th inning. And he hits this one on the ground, past the diving Harper and into left field. So Stamps hit that one hard. Harper had to quickly react and dive against it. And Stamps will be on board with the Bison's 6th hit of the day. And it looks like we might have a pinch hitter here. Stand by for just a minute and we'll see what Coach Forehand elects to do. And indeed, I believe, looks like Brian Hama, number 10, may bat for Borum, and indeed he is. So number 10, Brian Hama, is going to come on for the Bisons. And I believe this will be, no correction, Hama has 1 at-bat on the season. He's 0 for 1. So 2nd at-bat on the season and 2nd at-bat in his Bison's career for this sophomore. He's out of Brunswick, Ohio via Florence Darlington Tech. And he bats now with 2 outs and a runner at first base. That's Ethan Stamps. Bottom of the 6th inning, in Northern Illinois leading Lipscomb 4-2. almost hit him. Hama has to dance out of the way, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. Started him off with a fastball there. So 1-0 on Brian Hama. Caleb Ketchup is scheduled to be on deck for the Bisons here. Stamps does not have, or actually is 1 for 1 on stolen bases on the season. And Huskies must have read that scouting report as they throw over there. Chase him back, and again, we'll do it again. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Northern Illinois 4, Lipscomb 2. First game of this 3-game series between these two teams, a non-conference series. That one's going to miss inside, and it'll be a ball and a strike on Hama. Reagan Clawwitter has started and gone all the way, and we're going to have a conference on the mound. And while we'll go back to the scoreboard and catch you up on some other area action and other action involving ASUN teams. Tennessee Martin and North Alabama now tied at 1-1 in the top of the 4th. Butler and Jacksonville are scoreless in the bottom of the 4th. Florida Gulf Coast, Seton Hall are scoreless in the top of the 2nd. Presbyterian is leading Bellarmine 4-2 in the top of the 4th. Kennesaw State and Troy are getting set to start here any moment. Stetson and Sacred Heart are scoreless in the bottom of the 2nd, and Central Arkansas and South Dakota State are just underway. We mentioned earlier that 20th ranked Liberty has beaten Canisius 4-1, so that should catch you up on the ASUN activity as we play this weekend. We did have a brief update from next door Draper Diamond. The Lipscomb Lady Bison softball team is trailing Southeast Missouri State 5-0 in the top of the 6th. So both clubs getting action in the stadiums that are located adjacent to each other here. And the 2-0 to Hama is swung and foul back. Fastball, and he took a good rip at it. And it'll be 2 balls and 1 strike. Maxwell started the inning off, got called out on Stark, went down swinging rather, and McMillan grounded out to the pitcher. Stamps walked, and then Hama is on pitch hitting for Borum, getting his 2nd at bat on the season. And we got a 2 ball, 1 strike count as Clawwitter gets set to deliver, and almost hit him again with a fastball there. 3-1. So Hama's worked to count to 3-1. Ketchup is on deck. Again, Bisons have collected 6 hits against 5 for the Huskies, but the Huskies have made theirs count. Timely hitting and driven in some base runners when they had them out there. 3-1, swung on and fouled at the plate, 3-2. So Hama is certainly taking his hacks when he sees a pitch in the zone that he likes. Appeared in 22 games last year for the for Florence Darlington Tech. 10 RBIs and 53 at-bats, and did have 3 home runs. Here comes the 3-1, swung on and hit towards left field, but it's going to be gloved by the third baseman Harper. And so they're going to retire Hama on that line out to third base, 3rd out of the inning. The Bisons will strand another runner. They've stranded 6 on the day through 6 innings. And we've got 6 innings in the book, and your score, Northern Illinois 4 and Lipscomb 2. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We're headed to the top of the 7th inning. Lipscomb trails Northern Illinois 4-2. Back out on the mound is the left-hander Matthew Bonnard. He was terrific in the 6th inning. Came in a 2-men on no-out situation. Recorded 2 strikeouts and a ground out to get out with no further damage, continuing his terrific start to the season. And he'll be back out there to try to hold things where they are here. He'll be facing the heart of the lineup for the Huskies of Northern Illinois. He's got 3, 4, and 5 with Irado, Harper, and Kelly standing in to face him. We do have one other defensive change. Hayden Skipper, the sophomore outfielder has stayed in now, or has come in now rather, to play center field. So Skipper is in center field. Rudy Maxwell still in left. John Shields in right. Showing bunt and pulling off is Irado, and he'll take ball 1. So far today, Irado has walked, flied out, and walked again. So he's been on base twice and scored a run. 0 for 1 officially on the day, and 310 on the season. Shows bunt again, takes a fastball on the outside corner. Good spot for that one, and they've evened it up at 1-1. There again, Irado, the only left-handed batter in the lineup today for the Huskies. And he's facing the left-hander Matthew Bonnert, 4th pitcher used on the day for the Bisons. Curveball is going to stay outside, and it'll be 2 balls and 1 strike on Irado. Harper and Kelly are following him this inning for the Huskies. Swings and fouls that one straight back, and it's 2-2. So again, Bonnert surrendered just 1 hit on the season so far. He's now got 9 strikeouts in 6 1/3 innings pitched. And here comes the 2-2, and sort of an excuse me swing there. It was a fastball high and tight, and he tried to turn out of the way, and it hit his bat, and it rolls out to the mound after hitting off the screen. So we'll keep it at 2-2. So again, now Bonnert on the season, 6 1/3 innings. He's struck out 9 and walked 3, giving up just the 1 hit. Very, very effective start to the season for the young left-hander. Here comes the 2-2. Breaking pitch, and he got him. Beauty. Great pitch there by Bonnert as he gets the called punch out. That'll be his 3rd strikeout here in an inning and a third, and that'll bring up Aaron Harper, the 3rd baseman. And Harper's had himself a fine day. He's got 2 base hits on the day, both singles, and he scored a run, and he's up to 250 on the season. Also hit into a fielder's choice, so solid start to the weekend series for Aaron Harper, the 3rd baseman. And he swings through an off-speed pitch there for 0-1. Harper, a sophomore out of Hemet, California, 6'2", 205. Comes from Mount St. Jacinto Community College. And the 0-1, fastball outside corner, and great spot, 0-2. Catcher Bertolani was set up outside, really didn't move at all, and he got the call there. So again, Bonnert showing really excellent control, what we've seen from him all season long, ability to command both sides of the plate. Harper's going to step out and try to disrupt his rhythm a little bit, because Bonnert is really in a groove right now. When he's in a groove, he's very, very effective and tough on both lefties and righties. And we'll see how they elect to pitch Harper with an 0-2 count. 1 out and the base is empty. On the way, breaking ball down in the dirt. It'll be a ball and 2 strikes. Defensively now, Maxwell's in left, Skipper in center, Shields in right. Will Hoyt still at 3rd, Ketchup at short, Stamps at 2nd, Williams at 1st, and Jazz Bertolani's gone all the way at catcher for the Bisons. Caleb Cantola started, and he was relieved in the 5th by Chandler Giles, and in the 6th by Gavin Grubbs, and then Matthew Bonnert, and he's working here in the 7th inning as well. Here comes the 1-2, fastball just off the plate. Bertolani tried to pull it over, but it was a little too far to sell that one, and it was 2 balls and 2 strikes on Aaron Harper. That one almost hit him. Fastball stayed inside, so it's 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, top of the 7th. Northern Illinois 4, Lipscomb 2. We're glad you're with us here on YouTube Live, watching baseball action from the campus of Lipscomb University in Nashville, Tennessee. Here comes the payoff. Swings and hits it in the air to the right side. That's going to get out of play. And Harper will stay alive at a 3-2 count. Just to recap the scoring, the Bisons jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the 1st inning. They've been held scoreless since then. Northern Illinois put 1 on in the 3rd. They put 3 on in the 6th, and that's got us to our 3 on in the 5th, correction. And that's got us to the 4-2 score, as neither club scored in the 6th inning. And we're playing here in the 7th. And we're due a 3-2 pitch from Bonnert to Harper. Swings through the fastball, strike 3. So Bonner with his 4th strikeout. He struck out 4 of the 5 hitters who have faced him so far. And batting with 2 outs and the bases empty will be Mason Kelly. Kelly has grounded out, struck out, and singled, collecting an RBI in the process. He's batting .231 on the season. Looks at a curveball on the outside corner, nothing in 1. Sharp breaking ball from Bonnert, and when he combines that with that low to mid-90s fastball, it makes it very tough on both lefty and right-handed hitters. And the 0-1 misses inside. It'll be a ball and a strike. That was a fastball. Kelly's a sophomore. He's out of Mount Washington, Kentucky. Previously played at Schoolcraft College. 6'3", 220-pounder. Here comes the 1-1. Breaking ball. Taps it off the end of the bat. 1-2, so he saw it but couldn't time it up quite right. And now Bonnert has him down in a 1-ball, 2-strike hole. Kasabucky would be next if Kelly can extend the inning. Bonnert's used 28 pitches to go through the 5 batters he's faced thus far. And here comes the 1-2. Fastball just missed inside and low. Looked almost like the same pitch that he got the call out on Dimitrol back in the 6th, but that one was ruled a ball, so it'll remain 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty. Top of the 7th. Here's the 2-2. Swings and misses, strike 3. So Matthew Bonnert continuing to impress out of the bullpen. He strikes out the side. He has struck out 5 of the 6 batters that he has faced so far, and so there is nothing doing for the Huskies here in the 7th inning. It's 7th inning stretch time. We hope you'll take a stretch wherever you are and come back to watch the bottom of the 7th. Northern Illinois leads Lipscomb 4-2. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the home half of the 7th inning. We've had a pitching change for the Huskies. The sophomore right-hander Sam Peterson is on the mound. 6'3", 185-pound youngster out of Verona, Wisconsin from McHenry Community College. Peterson making his 3rd appearance on the season. He's worked 5 innings, giving up 3 hits, 3 runs. All 3 have been earned. He's walked 2 and struck out 3. Batters are just batting .176 against him, so he has no record and an ERA of 5.40 on the season. He comes on in relief of the starter Reagan Clawater, who pitched very effectively, ends up going 6 innings, giving up 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. So Peterson will be tasked with keeping it right here. He'll face 9-1-2 for the Bisons. Leading off will be Ketchup, followed by Shields and Bertolani, as we play here in the home half of the 7th inning. First game of a 3-game series between these 2 teams. Ketchup's 0 for 2 on the day. He's had 2 almost identical swings. He's flied out to left field and flied out to center field, both on shallow fly balls, and he'll face the new pitcher Peterson to start the home half of the 7th. Peterson comes across his body and throws a strike. Got sort of a low 3/4 sidearm type delivery and steps across. Again, at 6'3" and 185 pounds, creating some angles for these right-handed hitters. Here comes the 0-1. Breaking ball catches the inside corner, and he gets ahead of Ketchup, 0-2. Defensively, the Huskies are Peters in left, Barnes in center, Arado in right, Harper at third, Demetral at short, Blazevich at second, Kelly at first, and Combs behind the plate. And it's a no ball, 2-strike count due to Caleb Ketchup. That one's going to miss off the plate. It'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes. Outfield straight away. Fairly normal position. We have almost no wind at all here tonight. It's been a beautiful afternoon. Lights are on, and we're pretty much in full darkness at this point. Here comes the 1-2. Chase didn't hit it off the right side foul. Looked like he came across him with a fastball. It'll be a ball and 2 strikes on Ketchup. Bisons have 6 hits, the Huskies 5, but they've made theirs count. They've had some timely base hits to drive in some runs. They've put pressure on and had base runners on the Bisons throughout most of the game until Matthew Bonnard has come in and just been a lockdown in relief. And Ketchup hits that off the right side. That's heading foul, and it slices into the bullpen. The count will remain a ball and 2 strikes. We mentioned for the Bisons that Cantola started and was relieved in the 5th by Giles, and Grubbs in the 6th, and Bonnard came on in the 6th. And so far, Bonnard has struck out 5 of the 6 batters he's faced, so he's been lights out as he has all season. Here comes the 1-2, and that's a breaking ball that bounces up there. It'll be 2-2. Looked like a slider that was in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Caleb Ketchup. And the 2-2. Swings, taps it foul, goes off the plate. It'll count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ketchup just caught a piece of that one. Sort of a defensive 2-strike swing. Top of the order, Shields waits on deck for the Bison. Same 2 teams tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central start time, 1 p.m. on Sunday. Both games here on YouTube Live if you can't make it. We're expecting another beautiful day at the ballpark. So first time we've had what we would consider baseball weather all season. Here comes the 2-2. Breaking ball just missed low, and that's going to run the count full. That was a slider that was across the plate, but was judged low. And Ketchup has worked the count full, leading off the bottom of the 7th here for the Bisons. Northern Illinois leads 4-2. And here comes the payoff to Ketchup. And he missed downstairs, ball 4. So close misses there, but Ketchup works a walk after getting down 2 strikes. Nice at bat from Caleb there. That'll bring us back to the top of the order, and John Shields. Shields was hit by a pitch and scored the Bison's first run in the 1st. He's grounded out and he lined out. So he's 0 for 2 on the day with a run scored. John batting .231 on the season. And we'll see if Coach Forehand elects to use the run game here. Ketchup runs well. He's 4 out of 5 on stolen bases on the season, so he leads the Bisons in that department. We mentioned that as a team, the Bisons have stolen 17 out of 19 bags so far this season coming into the game. He's got an average lead at first, and that's fastball inside and low. 1 ball, no strikes. Defensively, third baseman Harper is a step behind the bag at third. Double play depth up the middle, and of course, first baseman Kelly is holding the runner on. Combs has shown us a good arm so far, as he threw out a runner stealing earlier in the game. And now Ketchup extends that lead a little bit at first base. Here comes the 1-0. That's going to be a breaking ball inside and low, and Shields lays off, and it's 2-0. Coach Forehand going through a series of signs here again. Big moment in the game for the Bisons, who'd love to put some pressure on Sam Peterson on in relief of the starter Clawwitter here in the 7th for the Huskies. The 2-0 right through there for a strike, taking all the way with Shields, it appeared, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Bertolani waits on deck. For those of you wondering at home, Shields does not have a sacrifice on the season. So here comes the 2-1. He's swinging and hits it foul and out of play off to the left side. That'll make the seats, and the count will remain, or will go to 2 balls and 2 strikes on John Shields. Shields handles the bat well. He runs well. And we'll see if Coach Forehand elects to put Ketchup in motion here with 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Ketchup running at first, and the throw will go over there. They chase him back, and I think they're thinking along the same lines that we are, that they might want to try to put him in motion with 2 strikes, particularly if they are guessing breaking ball here. So some of that inside game that goes on within the game within the game. Trying to figure out an opportune time to run. Big gap on the right side. Second baseman Blazevich is pulled over towards the bag, so if Shields could pull something, he's got a chance. They'll chase Ketchup back again to the bag. And Peterson's shown a good move so far for the tall right-hander. Just a sophomore, as we mentioned. But he has pitched very effectively so far this season, out for his third outing of the year. Here comes the 2-2 to John Shields. And he swings through at strike 3. Fastball in the outside corner, had it just off the plate, and Shields is down on strikes for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Chaz Bertolani, and Bertolani 0 for 2 with a walk on the day. And he'll bat now with 1 out and a man at first base. Chaz still hitting .333 on the season. He's been off to a hot start. And the Bisons would love to see him have a chance to put the ball in play here. Again, double play depth up the middle. Big hole on the right side due to the runner being held on. Second baseman Blazevich again shaded toward the bag, and they're going to throw over and chase Ketchup back once again. Bertolani coming off an excellent season last year where he hit .269 and had 28 RBIs on the season. And so he is a young man who's gotten to be a better hitter each of his years here, playing in his 4th season on campus. He's not going, and that misses just off the plate for ball 1. We often think of these catchers as having a really good plate discipline. They see a lot of pitches at the plate from their vantage point, and so usually these catchers have a really good eye at the plate and are a tough matchup, and Bertolani did not offer at that one as he saw the sliders head outside for ball 1. Ketchup again, good lead off. He is not running, fakes the break, and that one's going to miss as well downstairs, and it's 2-0 on Bertolani. So Ketchup took a couple steps as if he was taking off, but I believe he was just trying to disrupt the rhythm of the pitching-catching combination there. Didn't look like he was really committed to the steal. Sometimes you'll see base runners get that jump, and if they don't like how the first few steps feel, they'll put the brakes on, but that appeared to be a bluff there. And here's the 2-0. Again, he's not running, and it's through there for a strike, and the count will be 2-1. He went back to the fastball there, and looked like Bertolani might be taking all the way, so it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Trace Wilhoit waits on deck. Bisons have out hit the Huskies 6-5, but the Huskies have put theirs in timely positions and lead this one 4-2 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 2-1 to Bertolani, swung on and fouled out of play. Looked like a slider slicing away from him, so it's 2-2. And that is certainly what Peterson wants to do. All these right-handed bats in the lineup. We mentioned only 2 lefties in the lineup for the Bisons, and he's trying to create that spin of that slider going away from those right-handed hitters. Try to get them to have weak contact off the barrel. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to Bertolani, 1 out with Ketchup running at first. Is not going, and Chaz hits this in the air to right center field. Barnes drifting over, still drifting over. He's going to glove it, and they'll retire Bertolani for the 2nd out of the inning. So Bertolani got an outside pitch, drove it out, but it hung up a bit so that Barnes was able to get there, and that'll be the 2nd out and bring up Trace Wilhoit, who's had an excellent day. He's 2 for 3. He's got a single and a double. He's scored a run and driven in a run. And he bats now with 2 outs and a runner on first. So the Bisons got their leadoff base runner on. Caleb Ketchup walked. But a strikeout and a flyout as Sam Peterson is on in relief for the Huskies, and Wilhoit will try to extend the inning for the Bisons. Trace now batting .250 on the season. He's got 3 RBIs, 1 home run, and he takes a big cut and fouls it back, 0-1. Looks like Peterson's gone pretty much fastball and slider so far. That's what we're seeing. And a lot of these relief pitchers will tend to rely on those 2 pitches. You tend to think of your starters as needing that 3rd pitch to get through the lineup a couple of times. But guys out of the bullpen will really hone in on those 2 pitches that they can throw in any count and try to provide some matchup problems. That's what the game has evolved to. Here comes the 0-1 to Wilhoit, and that's a slider downstairs, and it'll be a ball and a strike. Malik Williams waits on deck if Wilhoit can extend the inning here. Again, Wilhoit with some pop in the bat. He does have the 1 home run on the season, but Coach Forehand told us before the year he expected him to be a guy that'll drive the ball here in the middle of the lineup, and he seems to be starting to see it well. Here comes a 1-1. That's going to be in there for strike 2. I think that was an inside fastball, and he might have gotten it up more than he wanted, but he caught the call, and it's a ball and 2 strikes to Wilhoit now. Ketchup has not run throughout either of the first two at bats. He's faked it a couple of times, but he has not actively tried to steal, so we'll see if the Bisons put him in motion here with 2 strikes. Has not really extended that lead. I would call it an average lead at best. He is running, and the pitch is going to be downstairs. Must have been low. It was on the inside corner, but they do not attempt to throw out Ketchup. And Caleb Ketchup will be credited with his 5th stolen base on the season. And the count's going to go to 2-2 on Trace Wilhoit. So Ketchup advances to scoring position with 2 outs, and Wilhoit has a chance to chip away at this lead, which is what the Bisons would like to do here in the late innings. Bonnard has been dominant on the mound. He's really shut down the Huskies for the last couple of innings. But the Bisons have some catch-up work to do here. Here's the 2-2. Slider hit in the air towards center field. Barnes is calling everybody off. He's drifting in a few steps. It's hanging up for him, and they will retire Wilhoit for the 3rd out of the inning. So nice job there for Peterson after surrendering the leadoff walk. The Bisons strand 1. They don't have any hits and don't score any runs. Bisons have stranded a total of 7 on the day, and we've got 7 innings in the book. Your score, Northern Illinois 4 and Lipscomb 2. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. To the top of the 8th we go. Matthew Bonnard back on the mound. Bonnard has faced 6 batters. He struck out 5 of them and allowed a ground out. So 2 innings of incredible relief pitching from Matthew Bonnard. He'll try to hold it right here, as the Huskies will skinned up 6, 7, and 8 with Kosabucky, Peters, and Combs. And he starts him out with a breaking ball that'll go downstairs for ball 1. Kosabucky has walked, been hit by a pitch, and struck out, so he's been on base a couple times. 0 for 1 on the day, still hitting .375 on the season. He's in a designated hitter today for the Huskies. Fastball catches the outside corner. That'll even the count at 1 ball and 1 strikes. A little bit of light activity in the Bison's bullpen, but you have to think that they're going to ride Bonnard as far as they can, the way he has been dominant in relief. That's going to be a fastball that'll miss inside and low, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, Bonnard had only worked 5 1/3 innings coming into today's action, but he's thrown 33 pitches to get through those first 2 innings. That one's fouled back, and it's 2-2 on Kosabucky. Balls, 2 strikes, no outs, nobody on. Top of the 8th, and Northern Illinois is clinging to a 4-2 lead. And that's a fastball that's going to stay high and away, and he's run the count full, 3-2. Scoreboard check is Tennessee Martin leading North Alabama 4-1 in the top of the 5th. Butler and Jacksonville still scoreless in the top of the 7th. Florida Gulf Coast is leading Seton Hall 2-0 in the bottom of the 3rd, and Presbyterian leads Bellarmine 4-2 in the bottom of the 5th. Here comes the payoff. Swung on and hit foul on the fastball. Stays alive at 3-2. Kennesaw State and Troy are scoreless in the 2nd. Sacred Heart still leading Stetson 1-0. That's in the bottom of the 4th. And South Dakota State and Central Arkansas are underway. They are scoreless in the 2nd inning. And it's gone final that Kent State has beaten Austin Peay 7-5. Again, the Bisons play a pair of midweek games in the upcoming week against the Governors. That's going to miss inside, ball 4, fastball that he held on to just a little long. That's the first walk of the day, and actually the first base runner that Bonnert's allowed, and that'll bring up Malik Peters. Peters tried to put down a bunt in the second and ended up with a double play on his hands. He lined out to short in the 4th, and he walked in the 6th inning. First time he'll face Matthew Bonnert on the day. And Peters does not have a sacrifice on the season. Bisons are thinking bunt, and he does square, and he pulls off and looks at a strike, and he'll be down 0-1. Third baseman Will Hoyt came charging pretty hard. Shortstop Ketchup was headed towards second to cover, and Stamps was moving towards first. First baseman Malik Williams is holding the runner on there. Kosabucky again 1 for 1 on steals on the season. And he tries to bunt at it and bunts it foul. It's a high fastball, just where you want to put it if you're the pitcher. Tough pitch to bunt, and he was unsuccessful. And so now in an 0-2 count, we'll see if they leave on the bunt or take it away. Kosabucky was picked off, or rather doubled off. There was a line shot hit by Peters back in the 4th inning, and they were able to double Kosabucky off at first. Here comes the 0-2 from Bonnert, showing bunt. Did he go? And first base umpire Creel Waddell says he did not. That was a breaking ball. It was headed to the dirt. Always a tough judgment call there, whether the batter pulled back in time or not. So you don't see that very often, that he kept the bunt sign on with 2 strikes. They're showing some confidence in Peters to get the bunt down here. Huskies clinging to a 4-2 lead in the top of the 8th, and they'd like to move the runner along. And they're going to snap throw to first, and Kosabucky's going to get back. Bonnert with an excellent move to first base. And we await the 1-2 pitch to Peters. He's showing bunt. He pulls off, takes it low. 2-2. So after the high fastball that he bunted foul, they've thrown 2 breaking balls in a row. And that's run the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Combs waits on deck. Top of the 8th inning, Northern Illinois 4, Lipscomb 2. First game of a 3-game series between these 2 teams. Two-two bunt. Bunted toward first base line. It's a good one. Malik Williams is going to pick it up. He's going to have to hustle to first, and he'll get him in time. So they went back to the fastball, but Peters does the job, and you can see why they had the confidence in him to get that bunt down with 2 strikes, and he sacrifices Kosabucky over to scoring position. And that'll bring up Scott Combs. Combs has walked, singled, and lined out on the day. So he is 1 for 3. And he'll bat now with 1 out and a runner in scoring position. And again, Kosabucky runs well. Second baseman Stamps shaded up the middle. Ketchup in a fairly normal position for your shortstop. Will Hoyt a couple steps behind the bag at third. So big gap over on the right side, and he swings through the fastball there, 0-1. Combs batting .200 on the season now. He's got 2 hits and 10 trips. 1 RBI, but he could pick another one up here with a base hit. Matthew Bonnert working in his 3rd inning relief here in the top of the 8th. He's been terrific so far, 5 strikeouts. And that's a fastball that'll stay high and away, and it'll be a ball and a strike. Again, we've seen a little bit of stretching, but it doesn't look like anyone's actively throwing in the Bison's bullpen right now. So I think this is Matthew Bonnert's game to stay with. And as effective as he has been, it's hard to imagine that anyone could come in and perform better than he has. So he awaits a 1-1 pitch. That one stays inside. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Blazevich waits on deck. Again, only 1 left-handed hitter in the lineup for Coach Kunagonis and the Huskies of Northern Illinois. They're seeking their first win on the season. They've dropped their first 2 series over the weekends, and they would love to hold this one right where it is, and that's a fastball almost in the same spot, and it'll miss inside, and it'll be 3-1. We mentioned they've played a couple of tight 1-run games, but have come up on the short end of those, and so no wins, 8 losses on the season, looking for their very first win of the season. But you have to admire the way they've performed tonight. Their starter, Reagan Clawwitter, came back out and after giving up 2 in the first inning, hung up a bunch of zeros after that. So they've performed well on the mound, in the field, and at the plate. And it's a 3-1 pitch, and asking for and receiving time will be Combs. Again, Bonner doing a good job varying the holes, trying not to let Kosabucky get too comfortable out there at second base. And we'll await the 3-1 pitch from Bonnert to Combs. Fastball stays outside, and that's ball 4. Not the worst outcome for the Bisons. First base was open there, and so keeps the double play in order with 1 out. And looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here. And give us just a moment to visualize this. Looks like it's going to be number 27, Carlos Aranda, junior outfielder out of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, from Ellsworth Community College. Aranda has 4 hits and 19 trips on the season. No homers and 1 RBI. Listed as an outfielder. So 2 men on and 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning, and Aranda batting for the first time today. Kosabucky, your runner at second. Combs running at first. Again, infield in double play position. Third baseman Wilhoit pulled back behind the bag. He'd love to get a ground ball here, and he starts him off with a breaking ball that's going to spin inside for ball 1. So Kosabucky walked to start the inning. He was sacrificed over by Peters to second, and then Combs walked. As first time we've seen Bonnert struggle at all. He struck out 5 of the first six hitters he faced, but now 2 walks in this inning and a sacrifice bunt, and that fastball stays downstairs, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Again, don't really see any activity down in the Lipscomb bullpen at this point. A lot of guys down there, but they're all watching. No one's throwing. Bonnert at 49 pitches so far. Here comes the 2-0. Long hold. Instead, he's going to make the inside move to second. No one's there. So again, just trying to disrupt some timing, keep Kosabucky from getting too big a lead or a jump out there. Stamps is going to move a couple steps over to his right and shade him up the middle. Big gap on the right side. First baseman Williams a couple steps off the line, so there is a big hole between first and second if Aranda were able to guide the ball that way. And here comes a 2-0 pitch from Matthew Bonnert. Fastball in the outside corner, great location there, and that's 2-1. So Bonnert still has showed good location with a fastball. It's been the breaking pitch that's been a little bit off for him this inning compared to the first 2 that he threw. And he's got a 2-1 count on the pinch hitter, Carlos Aranda. That's a fastball that'll stay high, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Starting to see a little bit more intense activity in the bullpen for the Bisons. We'll catch you up on that in a minute. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Runners on first and second. 1 out, top of the 8th inning. Northern Illinois leading Lipscomb 4-2. And that one's going to miss as well. So back-to-back walks from Bonnert will load the bases. In fact, that's 3 walks in the inning and a sacrifice bunt. So Bonnert's control, which had been so outstanding in his first 2 innings that he worked, is bothering him a little bit here. And back to the top of the order, and Matt Barnes. And before we do, pitching coach Matt Myers is going to stroll out to the mound to talk to Matthew Bonnert. As he does, we'll remind you about the Bison's upcoming schedule. Again, single game tomorrow with a 2 p.m. first pitch Central Time, 1 p.m. on Sunday, and then on Tuesday, the Bison's journey up by 24 to Clarksville. They'll take on the Austin Peay Governors. And Wednesday, they'll be right back here at Dugan Field hosting Austin Peay in a 3 p.m. start. And for those of you who track these things, that is $1 hot dog day. So you can come out, bring the family to a game, feed the family dinner, and catch some outstanding baseball. So 3 p.m. start on Wednesday. Bisons host Austin Peay. Next weekend, the Bisons will be on the road. 3-game series in Athens at the University of Georgia. Georgia's been ranked in the top 25 in most of the polls of the season, so it'll be a great series. Friday's game will start at 5 Central, Saturday at 1 p.m. Central, and Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Time are the starts for the Bisons at Georgia. And then the Bisons will be on the road at Tennessee Tech on 15th of March, Tuesday, and then home for their first conference series against Jacksonville State Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 18th, 19th, and 20th. Bonnert's going to go from the windup. Bases are loaded. Top of the order, Matt Barnes. And he bounces that one up there, and Bertolani seemed fortunate to find it in his glove. That one really got on him in a hurry, and Bertolani came up thinking he might have to turn around and go chase that one, but it was in his glove. Barnes has struck out twice, grounded out, and walked and scored a run. 333 on the season, even though he's 0 for 3 today. Here comes the 1-0. That's inside as well, 2-0. So Bonnert really losing some feel here now. We do see someone throwing in the Bison's bullpen. We'll try to follow that up for you in just a moment here. It is a right-hander, and looks like it might be Matthew Maldonado. We'll check that out further in just a moment. But a big pitch here from Bonnert, and that's a strike right through there, 2-1. And again, looked like Barnes was probably taking all the way. Much trouble as Bonnert has had finding the zone. He could very well take another pitch here. Bases are loaded, 1 out. Top of the 8th, and Northern Illinois already leading Lipscomb 4-2. Here comes the 2-1, and squeeze play. Ball's out in front, and they're going to score a run. Beautiful bunt there. Great job. You got to tip your cap to Barnes. So Kasabucky was taking off from third on the play, and it was not a safety squeeze. That was a suicide squeeze play. Barnes put it down, and the Huskies will give up their second out, but they will score their 5th run of the day. And you got to admire, again, the guts of that play and the execution. There was tremendous execution. And I think Coach Kunagonis is going to ask if he was really out at first. But I believe that call is going to stand. So you don't see that play very often in baseball anymore. You don't see it very often in college baseball. And so the situation, again, was bases loaded. It was a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Barnes squared as the runner Kasabaki was running from third base. And he put the bunt down right in front of the plate. Charging hard was Bonnert, but they really had no chance to get him. And so the runners move up 90 feet. Runners now second and third. They're 2 outs. Coach Jeff Forehand's out chatting with the umpiring crew, and I'm not entirely sure what point he may be making. Everyone's pointing towards first base, and he may be asking if he was running within the runner's lane. As you see on the field, there is a designated box that the runner is supposed to run in, and he's not really allowed to get outside that and run inside that toward the field side. We have seen that called before. In fact, it was called on the Bisons last year, I believe, in a game at North Alabama. So Coach Forehand, obviously from the third base dugout, rather, has quite the vantage point on that, but that is something the home plate umpire is watching. However, on that play, the home plate umpire really has to be paying attention to that play at the plate, because you know that's where the action is going to be. And so given the 3-man crew, the first base umpire is shifted around towards second. There may not be anyone sort of watching that. I believe that's the point Coach Jeff Forehand is making, is he may be asking, did Barnes, the base runner, in fact get outside his runner's lane? Because if he did, he would be called out, and the play would be dead. And I think that would change the outcome of the play. So I believe that's what the discussion is. We're obviously not listening in, but based on the direction that everyone's pointing, I don't think they're pointing out towards that pond beyond the right field fence that I talked about earlier. So the pointing seems to be concerning where the runner was heading down to first, and that discussion is going to continue. And Coach Forehand is going to retreat to the dugout, and the call, I believe, is going to stand. So it's going to be the 5th run of the day for the Huskies, and now they've got runners second and third with 2 outs, and Andre Demetral is going to be batting. Demetral has grounded out, struck out, singled, and walked. He scored a run on the day and also has an RBI. He's up to 250 on the season. And he's got a chance to do a little more damage. Runners second and third, 2 outs as Bonnert tries to escape further trouble. Fastball on the outside part misses. It's a ball and no strikes. So 3 straight walks, or correction, a walk, a sacrifice bunt, and 2 walks. There's 3 walks in the inning and 2 sacrifice bunts, and that's given 1 run to the Huskies here. Here's the 1-0, right through there for a strike, 1-1. Took something off the fastball there. That Doesn't look like Matthew Maldonado throwing down in the Bison's bullpen. So here's the 1-1, and that might have hit him. It gets away. Ball's behind Chaz Bertolani. He doesn't see it, and the wild pitch is going to allow the 6th run of the game to score. I thought the ball might have hit him, but apparently it did not. But bounced pretty hard in the dirt. Bertolani did not see it right away. And that's going to be 2 runs in the inning without the benefit of a base hit. And that's what 3 walks and a wild pitch and a couple sacrifices will do for you there. So it's going to be 2 balls and 1 strike on Andre Dimitrol, and the tough inning for the Bisons continues. Moving all the way around to third base now is Aranda, the pinch hitter who came in and walked. Arado waits on deck if Dimitrol can extend the inning. And here comes the 2-1 pitch. Fastball just off the plate. Close pitch there, but it's 3-1, and Bonnert in danger of issuing his 4th walk of the inning, which is a stark contrast from his first 2 innings when he struck out 5 of the first 6 hitters that he faced. Here comes the 3-1, and he swings and fouls it back to the screen, 3-2. Brought that as a fastball right down the plate, challenged him. Dimitrol fouled it off, and so we've got a full count with 2 outs and a runner at third. Your new score is Northern Illinois 6 and Lipscomb 2. We're playing in the top half of the 8th inning in the first of a 3-game series between these 2 teams. And here comes the payoff. This time, ball 4. Fourth walk of the inning given up by Bonnert, so it's really been a tale of 2 types of appearances here for Bonnert. He couldn't miss in the first 2 innings, and this one he's really struggled with his command, and that'll bring up Eric Arado. Only left-hander in the lineup at this point for the Huskies. Arado has walked twice and scored a run. He's struck out and flied out, so he's 0 for 2 on the day. Runners at the corners, 2 outs, 4 walks in the inning, and 2 sacrifice bunts and a wild pitch. Swings and fouls it out of play. Fastball was over the plate, and it's 0-1. Again, the Huskies have 2 runs home in this inning and don't have a base hit. In fact, they haven't gotten the ball out of the infield, but they've played the small ball to perfection. Again, a suicide squeeze, brilliantly executed with 1 out. And they're threatening again, runners on the corners with 2 outs now. And a no ball, 1 strike count on Eric Arado. That one misses just inside. It's a ball and a strike. Fastball there with a little bit of run. Aaron Harper scheduled to be next if Arado can extend this inning. The Huskies, again, already 2 runs home this inning. They were held scoreless until the 3rd. They got a single run then, 3 in the 5th, and 2 now this inning to put those 6 runs together. The Bison scored in the bottom of the 1st and haven't been heard from since. Here comes the 1-1. Swung on and hit in the air in the middle of the diamond. Ketchup's going to take a few steps back into left field, still going back. Ball's pushing away from him, but he's going to record it for the 3rd out of the inning. But it is a very productive inning for the Huskies. They scored 2 runs. They don't get a base hit. There was a wild pitch. There were no errors. They left 2 more men on base. For the night, I've got that they've stranded 9 men. But as we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning, we've got a new score. That score is Northern Illinois 6 and Lipscomb 2. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. Home half of the 8th inning, Sam Peterson is back out on the mound for the Northern Illinois Huskies, and due up for the Bisons will be Malik Williams, Rudy Maxwell, and not sure who will bat in the 4th spot here. Cam McMillan is scheduled, but we're seeing a couple guys swinging bats, so we'll bring you that update. But Malik Williams will start off. Malik's had a single, a walk, and a ground out on the day. Batting .320 on the season. And Peterson starts him off with a slider that'll stay high. 1 ball and no strikes. Again, Peterson came on in the 7th. Gave up an opening walk and then got a strikeout and a couple of fly ball outs to get out of the inning. And that one's going to catch the outside corner. It'll make the count a ball and a strike. Defensive substitution. Number 3, the junior infielder Patty McCormick is actually at second base now. Taking over there for Blazevich. The 1-1 swung on and hit foul. Out of play to the right side. Everybody's giving chase, but that's going to make the seats. And the count will be a ball and 2 strikes. So McCormick now at second base. Kelly remains at first. Demetral at short. Harper at third. The outfield is still Peters in left, Barnes in center, and Arado in right. They're all playing very deep, as you might well imagine, late in the ball game, clinging to a 6-2 lead. New second baseman McCormick is back on the grass a couple steps behind the infield, so he's playing really deep and shaded up the middle against Malik Williams. Here comes the 1-2. That's going to stay outside and low, 2-2. Bisons with just 1 base hit since the 3rd inning. They've been quiet offensively. That's line down the left field line. That's going to get down for extra bases. Malik rounds first, going to head to second, and he's going to be there with a leadoff double. So there's the base hit the Bisons have been looking for. Malik Williams, second base hit of the night, and he's aboard with nobody out in the bottom of the 8th. Good piece of hitting there from Malik. Again, looked like a slider that hung up a little bit, and rather trying to hit it out of the park, he just wanted to make sure he made contact. Such a strong guy, didn't even have to put a hard swing on it, lined it all the way down the left field line. And he's aboard at second, nobody out, and that'll bring up Rudy Maxwell. Maxwell's 2 for 3 on the night. He's got a single, a double, and he struck out in his last trip. Got an RBI. Rudy up to 296 on the season. Nobody out, runner in scoring position, bottom of the 8th inning. And he swings and hits the first pitch foul and out of play. 0-1. Again, Peterson is 1 full inning pitch, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 29 pitches so far. Rudy's batting .286 on the season with runners in scoring position. That one almost hit him. Ran inside, and that'll even the count at a ball and a strike. One home run, 4 RBIs on the season for Maxwell, the graduate transfer from Duke. Getting the start in left field today. He awaits the 1-1 from Sam Peterson. Swings and hits it off the fist, and it's toward the middle of the field, and it's going to be off the glove of Demetral, and that's going to be an error. Williams actually retreated back to second. He had that basic baseball rule that if you're the runner at second and the ball's hit to your right, you don't want to be caught at third base. So he neglected or did not want to make an out, so he was retreating back to second, make sure he didn't get doubled off. And Demetral was on the move and just took his eye off the ball. And that'll be an error, be the second error of the game against the Huskies, and that'll put runners on first and second with nobody out. And we are going to have a pinch hitter here. And looks like that pinch hitter is going to be number 35. That's Mason Lundgren, the sophomore out of Salina, Kansas. Lundgren has been hot to start the season. He's batting .304. No home runs and 6 RBI. So Mason Lundgren is going to swing it. And the left-handed hitting Lundgren will face the right-hander Sam Peterson. Got some activity in the Northern Illinois bullpen. From our vantage point, we can't get a number for you, but we do know someone's throwing out there. So just to reset, Malik Williams doubled to lead off the inning. Rudy Maxwell reached on an error, so runners first and second. Nobody out, bottom of the 8th. Northern Illinois leading Lipscomb 6-2. And the first pitch is downstairs for a ball to Mason Lundgren. Lundgren 7 hits and 23 trips to start the season, 6 RBIs as we mentioned. Here's the 1-0, and that one's going to catch the corner for a strike. Nice spot there. He located that really well, and he's got Lundgren at 1-1. Stamp scheduled to be next. Lundgren pitch hitting for McMillan, who started at DH today. Here comes the 1-1. Off the plate, slider, 2-1. And haven't seen Lundgren play a ton. New player to the Bison's program this year, but I will say that I think he's shown very good bat discipline by and large. We've seen him extend some at-bats and know the strike zone, and so he's ahead in the count, 2-1. Williams, your runner at second. Maxwell, your runner at first. I think we would generously say average speed on the base pass for the Bisons at this moment. And not sure what the delay is here. Looks like Lundgren is going to jog back over to the dugout, and he may want a different bat, or not sure what's going on here. We'll take a moment to sort that out. Again, he called time and jogged over to the dugout, and there's a little bit of scurrying around there. So Coach Forehand walking in now to look at what's going on. So I thought Lundgren might want to swap his bat out, or maybe he was trying to add some pine tar, or could have a contact lens problem or something like that. You never know exactly what's going on, and he's jogging back out. Whatever the delay was, he has remedied it. So again, Mason Lundgren back in there. The count is 2 balls and 1 strikes. Runners at first and second in the bottom of the 8th inning. And that one's going to miss way outside, 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike on Lundgren. And Peterson in danger of walking the bases full here. He's got 1 walk and 1 strikeout so far through the 1 inning officially he's pitched. Lundgren looks off the plate, ball 4. The close pitch there, but he does indeed walk Lundgren, and the bases are loaded with Bisons for Ethan Stamps. And Stamps base hit in his last at bat. He's also struck out and grounded out, batting .273 on the season. He does not have an RBI, and he could change that very quickly here. 3 hits and 11 trips on the season for Stamps. He swung it and hit it well last time up. And we're going to have a mound visit here as a big moment in the game. Bison's finally putting something together. They had been very quiet throughout the middle innings of the game. Again, if you're just joining us, Bison struck for 2 runs in the bottom of the 1st inning and had starting pitcher Reagan Clawwitter on the ropes, but he settled in after that. Retired the Bisons in order in the 2nd, nothing, and again in order in the 4th, and allowed only 1 base runner in the 6th before exiting and turning things over to Sam Peterson. Peterson walked the leadoff man he faced and then got 3 quick outs in the 7th, but here in the 8th he gave up a leadoff double. Got a ground ball to short that should have been the first out of the inning, and it was errored, and now he's walked a man, so he's got the bases loaded. And the Bisons are threatening now again after again, having not scored since that 2nd inning. As I said, they've just not been able to string together a couple of hits in a row since the 1st inning. But a big opportunity here with nobody out and Ethan Stamps batting. And we'll see if Skipper stays in to hit. Following this, he had come on as a defensive replacement. Hama had an at-bat, and then Skipper went in defensively, and his spot in the order is due up next. But first, we got Ethan Stamps batting with the bases loaded, and that one's going to miss outside, ball 1, like a stuck fastball there. They're in on the corners. Third baseman Harper, first baseman Kelly are playing even with or a step in front of the bag. Double play depth up the middle. Obviously, they surrender a run to try to turn a double play or get it out in the middle of the infield here, leading 6-2 in the bottom of the 8th. Here's the 1-0, swung on and tapped back towards the mounds, off the glove. Everybody's going to be safe. And tough break there for the Huskies, but that will allow the Bisons to score their 3rd run of the game, and it's now 6-3. We'll see if they score that a base hit or an error. It is going to be scored a base hit, so Ethan Stamps will get credit for an RBI in that infield hit. Second hit of the inning for the Bisons. And they are still in business with bases loaded, and it looks like Hayden Skipper will indeed bat here with bases loaded and 1 out. And Skipper on the season has only had 4 at-bats, hasn't recorded a hit yet, so 0 for 4 on the season. Skipper, a sophomore outfielder out of Manchester, Tennessee, and Coffee County High School, and he is on with a big moment in his young college career here. Bases are loaded, 1 out, or correction, nobody out. Bottom of the 8th inning, and Lipscomb trailing 6-3. And fastball right through there for a strike. So Stamps just tapped that off the end of the bat, but hit it high. It went over was headed over the head of Peterson. He jumped and made an attempt at the ball, and it kicked off the top of his glove. Peterson again is 6'3", and so he got up pretty high, but it kicked off the top of his glove, and everybody was safe. And he swings and hits this down the first base line foul. He just missed a double by about 2 feet there, so 0-2. That was an off-speed pitch that Skipper sat on and drove down the first base line. And Kelly was not going to get to it, but it tucked foul, and so Peterson's gotten ahead of Skipper 0-2. Again, nobody out here, and the bases are full of Bisons. Maxwell, your runner, at third, Lundgren at second, and Stamps running at first. Comes the 0-2 from Peterson to Skipper. Swung on again, hammered foul. It's a hanging slider, and he hit that a mile, but it was foul. And Skipper is dialed in and defending his territory here with an 0-2 count. We've seen Peterson nibble some off that outside corner, and we'll see if they elect to go away from the left-handed hitting Skipper here. Again, a little bit of a shift on toward the pull side, and that is indeed where they go, and they go far outside. It's a ball and 2 strikes. The second baseman, McCormick, is swung over towards first base, and the shortstop, Demetral, is shaded up the middle a bit, so there is a hole on the left side if Skipper were able to go that way. Outfield straightaway and deep. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Hayden Skipper. That's the slider's going to stay outside, and it'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes. Caleb Ketchup scheduled to be next. Crowd is alive here. Here comes the 2-2. And that stays high, 3-2. Looked like he came in with a fastball there, just missed high. And so nowhere to put Skipper. He's going to force the action here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and nobody out. Bases loaded. We're in the bottom half of the 8th inning. And Northern Illinois is clinging to a 6-3 lead. Lipscomb now has 8 hits on the day to just 5 for the Huskies, as the Bisons have 2 hits here in this inning and only 1 run to show so far. Here comes the payoff. Swung on, hit down the right field line, foul. Again, fastball in the middle of the plate. Skipper put a good swing on it, but just pulled it foul. Peterson, not a hard thrower. He uses those angles and speed and spin to create deception, but he's been very effective so far, retiring the Bisons in the 7th inning after a leadoff walk. He got 3 quick outs. In this inning, he's been plagued by a couple of base hits and an error. He had a chance to get an out earlier, but a ball was errored at short. And so it's 3 balls, 2 strikes, and here comes the payoff. And he misses high, ball 4. Bisons have their 2nd run of the inning. The deficit goes to 6-4, and they're still bases loaded, as Lundgren will go to 3rd, Stamps will go over to 2nd, and Skipper will be aboard. Gets an RBI there for that walk. And I believe we're going to have a pitching change here. So we'll step aside while the new pitcher comes in. We'll tell you all about it when we return. Again, we've got a good one going here. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Your new score, Northern Illinois 6 and Lipscomb 4. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. New pitcher for the Huskies is the redshirt freshman, number 34, Matt Salmonson. 6'1", 205-pounder out of Chicago, Illinois. Played his high school ball at Notre Dame College Prep. He's making just his second appearance on the season. He's pitched 1 inning, didn't give up a hit or a run, had no walks and 1 strikeout. So a big moment for a redshirt freshman who's got 1 total college inning so far. To his credit, he comes into a bases-loaded, no-out situation. The Bisons already have 2 runs home this inning, courtesy of 2 base hits and a walk that just walked in a run when Hayden Skipper batting. So the reset is Mason Lundgren at third, Ethan Stamps at second, Hayden Skipper at first, and Caleb Ketchup is batting now for the 4th time today, and Caleb has walked and flied out twice. And apparently we've got a pinch runner as well at second base. David Coppage is running at second for Ethan Stamps. So Coppage in the game for Stamps. He represents the tying run out there at second base, and Coppage with good speed. And here comes Ketchup as Salmonson will work from the windup, and he starts him off with a ball down in the dirt, and it'll be 1 ball and no strikes. Again, Lundgren, your runner at third. And Coppage now running at second, and Skipper running at first. None of those guys were in the game when this game started, but late game substitutions for the Bisons here, and they are threatening with a tying run at second base and nobody out, and Coach Forehand strolled down and had a word with Caleb Ketchup. We saw the Huskies execute a suicide squeeze earlier in the game, but you'd think it unlikely they'd take the bat out of his hands and put an out on the board with nobody out and bases loaded and a brand new freshman pitcher on the mound. So 1 ball, no strikes. And here comes the pitch from Salmonson, and that's going to be through there for a strike, 1-1. Again, we mentioned Salmonson's from Chicago, Illinois, so big moment for this freshman. Here comes the 1-1. They asked, did he go? And they say no, and that missed outside and high, like a breaking ball, and it's 2-1. Top of the order, and John Shields waits on deck. Pace of the game has slowed down. We were zipping through the first 5 or 6 innings with efficient pitching, and now we're really slowing this one down. Here comes the 2-1. Outside corner, great spot there. Boy, tip your cap to Salmonson. He executed an excellent slider there and got the call, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Caleb Ketchup. And again, double play depth up the middle. First baseman Kelly is a step or 2 inside the bag, and Harper's even with the bag at third. And here comes the 2-2, Salmonson to Ketchup. Swung and just got a piece of it at the plate. Went inside on him, and again, we've seen these Huskies pitchers consistently go inside on the Bison's hitters, and they've done a good job executing some pitches throughout this baseball game. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Matt Salmonson, a big moment in the game, and here comes his offering to Caleb Ketchup, and he throws a curveball, and it'll stay high, and that'll be 3-2. And once again, no place to put Ketchup here. You got to think that Ketchup's going to get a pitch to swing at. Caleb 3 hits and 18 trips on the season. He only has 1 RBI, and here comes the payoff. Swung on and foul back to the screen. Threw a fastball and challenged him, and he fouled it back straight back, so 3-2. See if they stay fastball here, or if they ask the young freshman to execute a curveball. One of those big transitions to college baseball is the expectation of throwing any pitch in any count, and so we'll see how Coach Kunagonis and the Huskies elect to play this one. Payoff pitch to Caleb Ketchup. Here it comes. Swung on, hit in the air, high towards shallow center field. Center fielder Barnes is coming in. Tagging at third is going to be Lundgren, and he's going to bluff, and he's got nowhere to go, and the throw will come to the plate. And the first out of the inning is Ketchup flying out to center field. So big first out. Now they got a chance to get out of this with a ground ball. Back to the top of the order, and John Shields. Shields been hit by pitch, grounded out, lined out, and struck out on the day. He's 0 for 3 and scored a run on the night, batting just .214 on the season. He's got 2 RBIs. John would love to have a chance to add some to that total here. Left-handed swinging Shields. Facing the freshman Matt Salmonson here, bottom of the 8th. Northern Illinois leading Lipscomb 6-4, but the bases are loaded and only 1 out. That one misses low for ball 1. As far as looked like fastball curveball out of the hands of Salmonson. comes the 1-0. Swings to an off-speed pitch there, 1-1. That might have been a changeup. Definitely had him out in front of it, so good pitch there, and it's 1-1 on Shields. Chaz Bertolani waits on deck for the Bisons. Bisons have 8 hits on the night, 4 runs. The Huskies have 5 hits, but 6 runs. They have committed 2 errors. No errors for the Bisons, and here comes the 1-1 to Shields. Swings and hits it toward left field, retreating back is Peters. Going back, still going back, still going back. Looks up and gone! Grand slam, home run, John Shields. John Shields, grand slam home run, bottom of the 8th inning, and Lipscomb has stormed back with 6 runs in this inning to take an 8-6 lead over Northern Illinois. Big moment in the game, and Shields comes through in a big way. That was hit opposite field, but hit it well, like a fastball that got elevated. He hit it, it kept going, and it got out over the left field wall near the 375-foot sign, and the Bisons have turned this one upside down, and they now lead 8-6. Still 1 out in the inning, and Chaz Bertolani stands in, and Chaz is going to look at a pitch downstairs for ball 1. So big turn of events. Again, this inning started with a base on balls and then an error and another walk, and then there was a single, a walk, a fly ball out recorded, and a big blow off the bat of John Shields, and a big moment for the Bisons, who've come back to take a 8-6 lead, and that one's going to be called a strike. There's a slider on the outside part. Bertolani has walked, grounded out, flied out, and struck out, so 0 for 3 on the day for Chaz. Still batting .312 on the season. And he swings and fouls that one back, and it'll be a ball and 2 strikes. Shields got down in the count, a ball and it was even in the count rather, a ball and a strike. Looked like an elevated fastball that was away from him, but he went with the pitch, didn't try to do too much with it, and he hit it solidly enough to get it out over the left center field wall for the big grand slam, and that's a curveball that's going to miss high, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Bertolani. We mentioned the young freshman Matt Solomonson coming in a big moment in the game. Only pitched 1 inning on the season, and he comes in with the bases loaded and nobody outs. He gets a fly ball out, but tough spot to be in for anyone, certainly for a true freshman. Here comes the 2-2, and it swung on and hit on the ground towards short, and ranging over to his left is Dimitrol. Throws to first. Really nice play there. Dimitrol had to take quite a number of steps to his left, field that ball, and throw on to first. And Bertolani will go down for the 2nd out of the inning, and that'll bring up Trace Wilhoit, 9th man to bat in the inning for the Bisons. Trace has doubled, singled, struck out, and flied out to center, or to right field rather. So he is 2 for 4 on the day and scored a run as an RBI. He's up to 240 on the season. Batting now with 2 outs and bases empty. Bottom of the 8th inning, and Lipscomb leading Northern Illinois 8-6. And that's on the outside corner. Good spot there. 0-1. Malik Williams would be next. He started off this inning with a double. Scored the first run of the inning for the Bisons, and that's hit in the air towards center field. It's sinking, and it's going to get down for a base hit. And Trace Wilhoit is going to have his 3rd base hit of the night. So he didn't get a great piece of it, but he got enough to get it down into center field. And that'll be the 10th hit of the night for the Bisons and their 4th hit in the inning. And we're back over to Malik Williams, who started off this inning, as we mentioned, with a double off the wall in left field, came around to score the first run of the inning, so he's the 10th man to bat in the inning for the Bisons. And he'll bat with 2 outs and a runner on at first in the place of Trace Wilhoit. And that's a slider that's going to miss outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Two outs and a runner at first, and Malik Williams awaits a 1-0 pitch. That's a slider that's going to stay outside 2-0. So Williams started off with a double, and then Maxwell hit what should have been a first out of the inning. Instead, it was errored, and he reached, followed by a walk to Lundgren, and then an RBI single off the bat of Stamps. There's another walk to Skipper, and then a pitching change and a fly out from Ketchup. And then the big blow, the grand slam off the bat of John Shields. Jazz Bertolani just grounded out. And Trace Wilhoit reached on a single, and now we've got a 3-0 count on Malik Williams as they're pitching carefully to the big fella here. Rudy Maxwell waits on deck. He swings at it and taps it towards short, and gloving it is Dimitrol, and he'll flip over to second for the third out in the inning. But it is indeed a very productive inning for the Bisons. They wind up sending 10 men to the plate. They score 6 runs on 4 hits. There was an error and 1 man left on base. The Bisons have stranded a total of 8. But we've got a brand new ball game, and we're headed to the 9th inning. Your new scorer is Lipscomb 8 and Northern Illinois 6. We'll be back to tell you about the last inning in just a moment as we step aside for this break. You're watching Lipscomb Bisons Baseball on YouTube Live. We head to the top half of the 9th inning. Lipscomb leading Northern Illinois 8-6. Your new pitcher is the sophomore right-hander Trey Nordman, 6'5", 220-pounder out of Lansing, Michigan, via Howard College. First year with the Bisons. Nordman's making his 3rd appearance on the season. He's worked 2 innings. He's given up 1 run. It's been earned. He's walked 2, struck out 5. He's got no record and a 4.50 ERA. Does have 1 save on the season. Opponents are batting a 0-0-0 against him. He's yet to surrender a hit on this season. So Nordman comes in to try to slam the door for the Bisons. He'll be facing 4, 5, and 6 for the Huskies, Harper, Kelly, and Kasabuki. And he'll start off with Aaron Harper, the 3rd baseman. Harper has singled, hitting a fielder's choice, singled again, and struck out. So he's had a good night. 2 for 4 on the day. And Nordman's going to throw an off-speed pitch high. Nordman, a hard thrower. Fastball slider. His fastball can run up in the mid to upper 90s, but control has been the thing that has limited some of his effectiveness. So he's asked to close it out here for the Bisons, and he's going to throw that breaking pitch downstairs, and it'll be 2-0. Harper now hitting .241 on the season. No home runs and 6 RBI, or correction, 1 home run and 6 RBIs. He is the only member of the Huskies to hit the ball out of the park this season so far through the first 8 games. And here comes the 2-0 from Nordman. That's going to stay high. 3 straight sliders, and they've all missed high, and it's 3-0. Again, the Bisons win in the bottom of the 8th, trailing 6-2. If you're just joining us, and they tacked 6 runs on to take an 8-6 lead. The big blow, a grand slam from John Shields. Here comes the 3-0, and he misses high with a fastball, and that's a 4-pitch walk. So leadoff base runners aboard for the Huskies. That'll bring up Mason Kelly, the first baseman. Kelly has grounded out, struck out, had an RBI single, and struck out, so 1 for 4 on the day with an RBI. Got 6 hits and 27 at-bats on the season. 4 RBIs total now on the season. And Nordman is going to catch the corner with a slider there, 0-1. So it's been very heavy on the slider so far through 3 of 4 pitches to the first batter were sliders, and he starts Kelly off from 1. That's the first one he's thrown for a strike, and it's 0-1. And that one's going to get in there as well, 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes on Kelly. Kosabuki waits on deck. Bison's defensively now. Maxwell's in left. Skipper is in center. Shields is in right. They're all playing moderately deep. Will Hoyt at third. Ketchup at short. Coppage stays in to play second. Malik Williams at first. Chaz Bertolani behind the plate. Here comes the 0-2. And he swings through a slider there and gets strike 3. So first strikeout of the day for Nordman. And that'll bring up Kosabuki. Kosabuki on the day has walked, been hit by a pitch, struck out, and walked again. So 0 for 1, scored a run, been on base a couple of times. 375 on the season. No homers, 3 RBIs for Caden Kosabuki. Freshman out of West Des Peres, Wisconsin. Starts him off with a slider that stays down. 1 ball, no strikes. So a little different pattern than we've seen from Nordman in some of his other appearances, where he's come in and been pretty fastball heavy. Being called upon to throw that slider here in the first couple of hitters that he's faced, and he's got a 1-0 count here on Kosabuki. And that'll miss outside. Another slider, 2-0. Still got activity down in the Bison's bullpen. We'll try to get an eye on those. Getting pretty dark down there. Looks like Matthew Maldonado's still throwing lightly. Shouldn't say it's dark in the bullpen. It's dark from our vantage point. There's a solid screen up that makes it tough to see through, but believe that's Maldonado throwing. But first we got a 2-0 pitch from Nordman to Kosabuki. And that one's going to be on the fastball in the outside corner. Great location there. 2 balls, 1 strike. Peters is next. 1 out. We're in the top of the 9th inning, and Lipscomb is leading Northern Illinois 8-6. Same 2 teams here tomorrow. 2 p.m. Central start time and a single game on Sunday at 1. The 2-1 slider catches the inside corner, 2-2. So we froze him on that one, and now he's got him in a 2-2 count. Again, Harper's your runner at first base. He led off with a walk, and then Kelly went down on strikes. We'll see if he elects to stay with the slider, if he goes back to the heat here on this 2-2 count. Norman's going to ask catcher Chaz Bertolani to run out, and they're going to make sure they're together on the signs that they have. Again, you would think with no runner on second, they're probably using a single sign, but always got to make sure those 2 are aligned. As hard as Nordman throws, you certainly don't want to be mistaken for what might be coming there. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Caden Kosabuki is getting ready to receive this one from Trey Nordman, 5th Bison's pitcher of the day, on in relief of Matthew Bonnert. Slider stays down and away, 3-2. Caleb Cantola started. He was relieved in the 5th by Chandler Giles. Gavin Grubbs and Matthew Bonnert came on in the 6th. And now Trey Nordman here in the 9th for the 5th Bison's pitcher of the day. And we're due the payoff pitch to Kosabuki. Swung on and hit foul. That again looked like a slider. He sat back on it and just hit it foul to stay alive, 3-2. Cantola went 4 2/3. Giles a third of an inning. Grubbs only faced a couple of batters, and then Bonner, 3 1/3 innings, giving up 2 runs, 2 were earned. He had 5 walks and 6 strikeouts, and came in the first 2 innings he pitched. He struck out 5 of 6 hitters, and then the walks got to him in the 8th inning. And here comes the payoff again to Kosabuki. And it's going to miss outside, ball 4. So second walk of the inning. That'll put runners on first and second for Malik Peters, left fielder who's got a sacrifice bunt. Attempted a sacrifice back in the 2nd inning and wound up creating 2 outs on the play. He's also lined out and walked. So Peters 0 for 1 officially on the night with a walk. Just 5 hits and 27 trips to start the season. He bats with 2 on and 1 out here in the top of the 9th, with Lipscomb leading 8-6, and that's a slider that'll miss downstairs, and it's a ball and no strikes. Second baseman Stamps is shading a little bit towards the second base bag. Shortstop Ketchup again is pulled in a couple steps, maybe what you'd call more double play depth for the middle of the infield. With 1 out here and runners on first and second. The 1-0 is a fastball that's going to miss down, and it's going to be 2-0. So Bonnert's faced 3 batters. He's walked 2 of them and got a strikeout. Still hasn't surrendered a hit on the season here in his 3rd appearance. Or correction, I said Bonnert. This is Nordman that we're talking about now. He's got a 2-0 count, and we'll see if Peters is taking here. And that's going to bounce up. It's going to get away, and the runners are going to advance 90 feet. So that was a slider that got in the dirt. And it'll be a free 90 for runners. Third base will be occupied now by Aaron Harper. Second base by Caden Kosabuki. And it's 3 balls and no strikes on Malik Peters. And you got to think that he may take a pitch or 2 here. With first base open, Scott Combs due on deck. Again, Matthew Maldonado appears to be throwing down in the Bison's bullpen. He's been throwing off and on. There's also someone else down there. Can't get a look at the other, but there are 2 folks throwing in the Bison's bullpen. And you would think this might be Nordman's man to get here. 3 balls, no strikes to Malik Peters. That bounces up there as well. That was a slider, and it's in the dirt. That's the 3rd walk of the inning for Nordman. And so now the Huskies right back with bases loaded, nobody out, or 1 out rather, and Scott Combs up, and Coach Jeff Forehand's coming out to the mound. Haven't seen a signal yet. Looks like he will indeed signal. So we're going to have a pitching change. We'll step aside, and we'll tell you all about the new pitcher and the situation when we return. You're watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball on YouTube Live. The new Bison's pitcher, redshirt junior, number 22, Matthew Maldonado, hard-throwing right-hander, 6 foot tall, 204 pounds, out of Seguin, Texas. Waldo making his third appearance on the season. He's pitched 1 inning, given up 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. And he comes in a big moment in the game. The bases are loaded. There's 1 out, and Scott Combs is at the plate. 3 walks in the inning to load the bases, and Maldonado called upon now here to try to hold this thing where it is. Lipscomb clinging to an 8-6 lead, and he swings through the first pitch. 0-1. Maldonado, again, a hard thrower. He'll run his fastball up in the mid-90s. Also got a slider and a changeup, so he gets ahead of Combs, 0-1. Harper, your runner at third. Kosobucky at second, and Peters running at first with 1 out and a no ball, 1 strike count. Maldonado gets set to deliver. Swung on and hit foul. That was a fastball that he just got a piece of. And Combs is down 0-2. Not sure who would bat next. McCormick had come in as a defensive replacement. It looks like he's in the on-deck circle, so we'll see if they elect to stay with him. But first, Maldonado 0-2 on Combs with the bases loaded. 1 out here, top of the 9th. Lipscomb 8, Northern Illinois 6, and that's a breaking ball that stays high, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Last year, Maldonado was 16 appearances. Record of 1 win and 2 loss. He worked 32 innings last year, 39 strikeouts rather, against 16 walks. So he has got a high strikeout rate. And he's got a 1-2 count here, and he swings and he misses. Strike 3. So Maldo, big strikeout for the Bisons there. 2nd out of the inning. And it looks like they will indeed have a pinch hitter here for McCormick. And let's see who's going to come out. Looks like this is going to be number 10, Paxton Kennedy. Kennedy, a senior, first baseman, 6'4", 200 pounds, out of Mendota, Illinois, and Illinois Valley Community College. And looks like Kennedy has had only 9 at-bats on the season, 1 hit, no homers, and 2 RBIs. So number 10, Paxton Kennedy, will come out with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Matthew Maldonado trying to hold this lead for the Bisons, who lead 8-6 here. He'll work from the stretch to Kennedy. Now it's going to miss for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Kennedy, the 4th person in this slot in the lineup. Lacevich started it. Aranda pinch hit. McCormick came in as a defensive replacement, and now Paxton Kennedy. So my score sheet is a little congested at the 9th spot in the batting order for the Huskies. Here comes the 1-0 from Maldo. Misses low, 2-0. Breaking ball there. And no place to put Kennedy. Top of the order, Matt Barnes would be next, and the Bisons would like to see him again tomorrow, as he's been one of the hottest hitters for this Northern Illinois team. But Maldonado will first have to retire the pinch hitter, Kennedy. Here comes the 2-0. Great spot there, outside corner, 2-1. Got the call on that fastball. Took a little something off. Great location for a 2-0 pitch. Not sure if Kennedy was taking that all the way, but the count will now be 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the 9th. And here comes the 2-1 pitch. Slider's going to stay high, and it's 3-1. So we'll see if Maldonado elects to come at him with that fastball here. Again, he's got that electric mid-90s fastball. And Kennedy is ahead as the 3-1 pitch is delivered from Maldonado. That's going to miss ball 4. So Kennedy will get an RBI. And the Huskies have cut it to 8-7, and they're still bases loaded and 2 outs, and we're back to the top of the order. And Matt Barnes has struck out, walked, struck out again, grounded out, and laid down a suicide squeeze, sacrifice bunt. So he's had a busy night, has Barnes, 1 for 3, batting .333 on the season. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Top of the 9th, 8-7 Lipscomb. And he swings and fouls the first pitch back. Looked like a slider he got a piece of, and it's 0-1. Been an entertaining ball game between these two teams, back and forth affair. We had 2 scored in the top of the 8th by the Huskies, 6 put up bottom of the 8th by the Bisons, and now 1 in the top of the 9th. So a lot of scoring in the late innings here, and it's no balls and 1 strike from Maldonado. Swings it again, fouls a slider back, 0-2. Barnes a good contact hitter. Maldonado has him in a 2-strike count now. Goes to Bucky, your runner at third. Peters at second. And Kennedy, your runner at first. Matthew Maldonado has a no-ball 2-strike count on Matt Barnes. Andre Dimitrol would be next if Barnes can extend the game. And here comes the 0-2 from Maldonado. Fastball just got a piece. Like Maldonado really reared back, put something extra on that, and Barnes was up to the task. Got it on the inside part of the plate, but he fouled it off. And big battle going on between these two here. Barnes, a senior, he's played a lot of baseball. Maldonado, the redshirt junior, he's in his 4th season on campus here. Missed a season due to injury. But these two very experienced college baseball players are going at it. It's still no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. And the pitch. Slider stays high, ball and 2 strikes. Third baseman Will Hoyt's going to retreat a couple steps behind the bag and over closer to the line. Williams doing similar at first base. Normal position everywhere else. It's ball and 2 strikes from Maldonado. Swings and misses, strike 3. Matthew Maldonado comes in and does the job. He gets 2 swinging strikeouts sandwiched around a walk, and the Bisons are going to walk out of here with a victory, 8-7. In the inning, 1 run, no hits recorded for the Huskies, and they strand 3. By my count, they end up stranding 12 men on the game, one of the big stories in the game. So the final line score for today's game will be 8 runs, 10 hits, and no errors for the Bisons. 7 runs, 5 hits, and 2 errors for the Huskies. And we'll have to await the ruling on the winning pitcher here. I believe the winning pitcher may very well be Trey Nordman, but we'll await on the ultimate ruling on that. Our time of the game is 3 hours and 39 minutes. And we'll give you a brief recap. The Bisons jumped out to the early 2-0 lead. John Shields was hit by a pitch, and then an RBI double from Trace Wilhoit brought him in. There was another RBI single from Moody Maxwell, and the Bisons led 2-0 after 1 inning. But the Huskies started chipping back. They put a single run up in the 3rd inning, courtesy of a walk, a stolen base, and an RBI base hit from Dimitrol. The Huskies added 3 more runs in the 5th inning. In that inning, they were aided by a couple of walks and a big RBI base hit off the bat of Harper, as well as 2 RBIs from Mason Kelly on a base hit. And at that point, they had claimed a 4-2 lead. Huskies went back to work and added a pair of runs in the 8th inning to stretch their lead to 6-2. Again, they started off with a walk, a sacrifice bunt, another walk, and back-to-back walks, in fact, and then a squeeze play at home, followed by a base on balls that brought a run home. And so it was 6-2 going into the bottom of the 8th. But the Bisons mounted their biggest rally of the day. They started off with a double from Malik Williams. Rudy Maxwell reached on an error. Following a base on balls, there was an RBI base hit off the bat of Ethan Stamps. And then Hayden Skipper walked and was credited with an RBI. And then the big blow of the night, John Shields came up with the bases loaded. He hit a grand slam opposite field home run, giving the Bison their 6th run of that inning and staking them out to an 8-7 lead. But the Huskies would not go quietly in the top of the 9th. They got 3 straight walks to load the bases. And in fact, a walk that brought in a run and plated one in the 7th to cut the gap to 8-7. But Matthew Maldonado came in, got 2 swinging strikeouts out of the 3 men that he faced, and slammed the door as Maldonado gets the Bisons out of a big bases loaded jam in the top half of the 9th inning and allows them to escape with an 8-7 win. So Bisons, again, win 8-7, first game of this 3-game series, a really entertaining game between these 2 teams. And we'll remind you that these same 2 teams will be back in action tomorrow. That will be Saturday, and the first pitch will be 2 p.m. Central Time. Again, 2 p.m. Central Time for our first pitch tomorrow between Lipscomb and Northern Illinois. That'll be our next telecast as well. We'll be on the air at about 1:55 p.m. Central Time here on YouTube Live. Our special thanks to Lipscomb Athletic Director Philip Hutchison, Associate Athletic Director for External Relations Brent McMillan, Assistant Athletic Director for Communications Kirk Downs, Assistant Director for Athletic Communications Hannah Jo Riley. We also want to thank our camera crew and interview person Erica Plunkett for working on our game today. And on behalf of our entire crew, this is Doc Allen saying thanks for your time this time. And until next time, so long. You've been watching Lipscomb Bison's Baseball